A spectacular performance. Curry from half court. Sometimes, something looks like it's been there a while.
We are here after the game just finished, the Dallas Mavericks and the Timberwolves. As it currently stands, the Dallas Mavericks have a 2-game lead to the Timberwolves. It's 2-0 right now. Who could have seen that? Not me, that's for sure. We're going to be going over 2 games today. We're going to be going over, like I said earlier, the Dallas Mavericks and the Timberwolves, and we're going to be going over the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. A more foreseeable series, a series that we predicted more accurately, although game 1 was a beautiful game. It was an unfortunate game, but that's on the agenda for today. So we're just going to get right into it. The game just finished, literally maybe an hour and a half ago, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. I think let's just go off raw emotions. Game 2 only, the ending of game 2, the absolute thriller that it was. How do we feel? Just raw emotions. Casual takes accepted. Recency bias accepted. I'm going to pass the rock to up and over Tyrese Halliburton, moving my hands around, looks sloppy, but it lands to Thomas.
I don't believe in raw emotions. I only do cold hard analysis. So I'll say that Dallas Mavericks, they out executed the Minnesota Timberwolves in crunch time for the second game in a row, and they came away with another close game. And if the Timberwolves continue to fail to execute,
that's more than a raw emotion. That's way more than a raw emotion. That's a whole damn
lose the series.
Looks like a month's analysis. So I'm just gonna cut you off because I want a raw.
Like I said,
analysis.
I don't believe in raw emotion.
All right, so we're gonna pass the rock
that's
now.
not how I roll.
We're gonna pass the rock now to Wes. Wes, raw emotion, please.
If I'm Minnesota, it's despair. If I'm Dallas, it's like full momentum. Like Luka's feeling good, Kyrie's feeling good. All our role players are hitting it at the right moment. So momentum for the Mavericks.
That's a beautiful. I kind of like that. So you kind of took what I said and took it to a good spot. Let's do one word. I think that's a good one word for both teams. So you did despair for the Timberwolves and you did momentum for the Mavs. Beautiful. Thomas, one word for each team.
Thank you.
If I'm the Mavs, I'm thinking they're really going to have to try a little bit harder to. No, let's see. Let me try one word. Dude, I can't do one word. Stupid.
Okay, fine. You can one word. That's the difficulty of it. You got to do the
One
best
word.
fitting word.
Okay, Mavs, basketball, Timberwolves, basketball.
To the fans at home, he really is like this. Off camera as well. It's amazing. I know. So
I can't do one word. That's impossible.
To keep the
one word
going,
is impossible. Wes took the good one word. He said despair. I was going to use.
To keep the episode going in the best interest of our fans, I'm going to just shift it on to myself and give one word for each team. So for the Mavs, I have one very simple word: execution, because they've been executing beautifully. And for the Timberwolves, I'm going to have to give two words, three words: missing persons report. Because we got to file a missing persons report for Mr. Anthony Edwards, Mr. Karl Anthony Towns. We're going to dive deeper into that in just a second. If we're going to give one word for the Celtics and the Pacers, let's give it to Thomas first, just so he doesn't cope and cry that the good words were taken. So, Thomas, go ahead. One word for the Pacers and the Celtics.
For the Pacers, dude, I'm struggling with this. How do you do one word? I don't know how you guys came with one word.
Wes, let's let him suffer for a little bit. A little bit awkward silence.
It's a task.
It's all right.
It's literally an impossible task. I can't do it.
Wait, Wes, don't give him any. Let him suffer. I like this.
Okay, fine. Okay, for the Celtics, I'll say shooting.
Okay.
That's
good.
Wait, but can I explain, or am I only allowed to say that?
You can explain a little bit, briefly.
Okay, yeah. Celtics, they've been hitting their shots. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Their offense is designed around
good job.
Creating
honestly, good job, bud. Good job, bud.
I don't even know. Pacers, I guess defense, because they can't fucking play defense.
Okay, good.
It's pathetic.
Simple as that. That got the job done. It wasn't too hard now, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. But if you notice, it takes me a little bit. It's not my strength. Giving good, honest, raw analysis. That's kind of my strength. That's kind of
we're gonna get to your raw analysis.
It's like you don't kick out to Rudy Gobert in the 3-point line, right? You won't be playing the role that I'm supposed to play.
Moving swiftly on. Wes, 2 words, please.
Pacers probably fumble and Celtics like I don't know shooting. Nobody's said shooting, so I'll do shooting.
All right. I'm
I just
gonna
didn't come up with a good one.
I'm gonna go with for the Pacers. I'm gonna do an image, the Reggie Miller image, with the
Ooh.
choking. Little a little uh irony there. And for the Celtics, I'm gonna go with bounce back. 2 words again. Um, the Reggie Miller image, the choking image for the Pacers because it's obvious. They brief analysis, just brief a couple of words. They fully, wholeheartedly fumbled game 1. Management to players, they just fumbled them. We're gonna dive deeper
Actually,
into that in a little bit.
we should have been more talking about game 2. Actually, I just realized. So it's not really a fumble in game 2.
We didn't talk about game 1. That was on our last episode didn't cover game 1, so we're talking about game 1 and
we
game 2.
we didn't, but
So this
yeah,
episode
I
will be
guess, yeah.
covering game 1 and game 2 of the Eastern and Western
Okay.
Conference Finals. So and then for the Pacers, they fumbled at management to players. It was a full fumble. So the Reggie Miller choke, and for the Celtics, good recovery. They were allowing, again, brief. We're not gonna dive too deeply, but they were allowing the Pacers to do what they're good at in game 1. They were able to recover with that big 3 by Jaylen Brown in an overtime, and then game 2, it was very much simple execution. They went there, they went for the kill, and they got it done. We're gonna dive deeper into that in a moment. So let's now kind of rewind back and get back to more deeper analysis for. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a burp there. Let's go back to game 1. So we'll go game by game. So we'll first go over the.
I feel like I'd rather start with the freshest game in mind, the one that just finished.
Why?
You know,
Sure. I guess we could do a 3. It's a 3-person
Why?
podcast. We could do a vote. I personally would think we should start game 1. What do you think, Tom?
I
You're
think
the
we start
deciding
game
vote.
1 too. It's
Okay,
I mean,
fair.
Wes, yeah, okay, you're right. Like our analysis is gonna be better on game 2, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't go chronologically.
And it's
We'll
not
just
like
spend more time
our
probably on the
analysis
recent
will.
games.
Our analysis also won't like disappear in like 40 minutes or 30 minutes, however long we take.
Yeah,
game one.
exactly.
I already
Exactly.
mentioned.
So-
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you're right.
true.
That's fair.
To the fans at home.
It's going out right now. It's going out right now. I don't even remember the first quarter.
Game 3,
so.
game 4. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start with game 1. Shout out Democracy. So game 1 was played against in in Minnesota. I think let's start with how we always do. Let's pass the rock to Thomas. Go ahead, Thomas. You could talk about or I could give you a moment. I could keep on yapping a little bit for you to like recover your thoughts. I guess we could start recovering our thoughts.
Well, you said game 1 played in Minnesota. Or wouldn't you do like the first game is in Pacers Celtics?
I thought the you're right. I thought
Wait,
Yeah, you're right.
we can go series by series though. That's chill too.
that's what I was
Whatever
kind of
works.
thinking, but
Okay,
we
yeah,
could
sick.
also go completely chronologically ordered. How we feeling,
I
guys?
kind of like that. I kind of like that. It's fully chronological, you know.
All right, sure. Let's do that. Why not?
Okay,
So we can start
actually-
with
Walk the
Counterpoint to
listener
that,
through it.
I feel like we should just do each series by series because then we
Yeah,
can talk about
each of us.
adjustments made game to game. Like this is what happened in game 1.
You think this is a city council? What do you mean counterpoint?
Yes.
I actually agree with Wes. So two outvote one. So we're gonna go series by series. So we're gonna start with the Dallas Mavericks and
But I
Timberwolves.
don't care which series you start with.
I think we'll start with the Timberwolves, in my opinion. I think.
Start with Pacers.
Okay, Wes are the deciding
Yeah.
vote.
The Pacers. Yeah.
All right, I guess. So,
Wow.
democracy.
Okay, we got
so we all 3 got outvoted in one decision. That's the
Let's go.
That's the beauty. So we're gonna start with the Pacers and the Celtics, which was the first game played on Tuesday. An absolute thriller, went to overtime. So let's start with what the Pacers were doing well and what the Celtics were not doing well. I guess I could start immediately. Halliburton was playing really well. He was he was dishing, he was passing, he was hitting his shots where he was getting them. He hit 2 clutch like buzzer beaters in the first quarter and the second quarter, I believe. They just couldn't stop them. Siakam also hitting his shots, going to his locations, his fadeaway, popping it like there was no defender. It was beautiful. The role players also really did well. Obi Toppin with 15, TJ McConnell 13, Nimhart 12, but 7 assists. Very underrated. Siakam grabbing the boards, Aaron Nesmith 14.6 rebounds. So overall, everyone was doing their job, everyone was doing their roles, and the Celtics really couldn't stop them. It was the elite defense that the Celtics have wasn't really picking up to how to keep up with the fast-paced transition offense of the Pacers. Now we're gonna go into game 2 after this, but I personally believe it was just because it was just an adjustment thing. It's the first game. They were adjusting to the pace, to the temperature of the Pacers, and they were lucky they escaped by the skin of their teeth because of events that unfolded towards the end, which was just literally, if I'm the Pacers, God, like if how do they mess up so badly? They should have called a timeout when they couldn't find a pass in. So that's the coach's fault. The pass by Nimhart, I believe it was Nimhart, right? Throwing the inbound
To
Yeah.
Siakam.
to
Or-
Siakam. Yeah. Just I don't know what was going on there. You could call a timeout if as Nimhart. Pass wasn't great. The tip by Siakam, it was just a mess of a situation. And you have to give credit to Jaylen Brown. I think briefly talking about the Celtics, Tatum had a good game. This was a good game by Tatum. Not none of them really did great defensively. It was more offensively. Tatum had a good game offensively. Jaylen Brown, 26 points, elite three. I mean that gave them the game, right? Drew Holiday, 28 points. God damn. You're not
Yeah, I
gonna
think
get
that was
that
his like career high or something. Or in like 3 years, I think.
crazy. You're not gonna get that every night from Drew Holiday. So for them to escape with the win is crazy. Is very big for them. Yeah, that's just kind of my overall thoughts without diving too deep into the nitty gritty. Because, like I said, this was on Tuesday. It's currently Friday, so 4 days ago. A little bit fuzzy in my brain. Now, any one of you guys, it's an open floor. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I'll start us off. I just feel, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said. It was like a great game for the Pacers. It's unfortunate they kind of just fumbled it at the end because that kind of plays right into the Celtics' hands. Because I feel like one problem the Celtics team has is as talented as they are, they kind of struggle to like maintain focus and like 100% effort. Because when this train is like moving, it's unstoppable. But it's just about are all their stars engaged and working cohesively. I feel like Derek White's the one like no matter what, he's going to be like giving you effort plays, but it's really hit or miss with Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the defensive end. But I mean, this game offensively, the Jays were clicking. I feel like mentality wise, this plays right into the Celtics' hands because it kind of wakes them up by giving them like this such a close game, but they still get away with the win, and then they can dominate kind of in game 2 because they're more focused and aware of what's going on. So yeah.
Thomas, your final thoughts?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just down the stretch, it's really frustrating. It was a compounding series of errors for the Pacers that gave the game away. I was really frustrated with the no foul call on that last inbounds pass. I think Jaylen Brown clearly got his forearm into Siakam before the ball got to him. I thought this should have been a foul. But to be fair, Jaylen Brown still had to hit that shot to make that matter. So shout out to him. Halliburton was one of the flukiest plays I've seen in a minute. He's taking the ball up the court and literally, I mean, it was reminiscent of a play not from a basketball game, but from a football game. Super Bowl 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts is dropping back in the pocket and literally just like the ball falls out of his hands spontaneously. Halliburton did the exact same thing. He's bringing the ball up the court. The ball flies out of his hands. I don't understand how that happened. Out of bounds. Literally gives the Celtics an extra possession, which they fumble because Jason Tatum bricks like a 15-footer, which I was very happy about. I was like, wow, look at that. Tatum just lost in the game. Only for that awful inbounds to happen the next play and make it not matter. So, yeah, I mean, that series go like, and then I guess the final part, Halliburton gets the ball to close the game out and does absolutely nothing. I don't understand why he wasn't more aggressive trying to attack the rim. It felt like he was dancing around in the backcourt trying to get a 3 off. I mean, it's kind of a tendency that's taken over in like the last decade of the NBA, where players seem to really want to get 3s off to win games, even in like a tied game. I don't like you got to attack the basket because A, like gives you a better chance to get a foul call. B, it's an easier shot the closer you are, and you only need the bucket. But I mean, I guess that's beside the point. For like broader stuff for the game, like Celtics got a Drew Holiday good shooting game, which you're not going to get every game. He was 4 for 8 from 3. That's not going to happen every game. So they better take advantage of that. And then in overtime, because let's face it, the game went to overtime, and although the Pacers did fumble, they had an opportunity to win in overtime. Jason Tatum absolutely took over that overtime. He was hitting a lot of tough shots. He kind of was. I wouldn't say he was cold, but he wasn't having a great game up till that point. Like I said, he missed the last shot, and the what's it called? Oh my god!
Before Jaylen Brown.
I was gonna say what's the period of time before overtime? do you say?
Regulation,
Regular time?
regulation.
Yeah, regulation. Yeah. He missed the last shot of regulation, which could have cost him the game, but it didn't. But the second they got into overtime, he just couldn't miss. He was getting to the line, playing some great hoops. So,
Well, didn't he
also
miss
shout
like
to
a?
him.
I think he missed like a point blank layup before he got it back and redeemed himself by getting
Yeah,
and one.
yeah.
But he did
Uh,
miss a point
Okay,
blank.
maybe.
There was a lot of dicey plays
Maybe.
from Tatum,
He
but
hit
ultimately,
he hit he also hit what was basically a dagger three to put them up four
exactly.
Yeah.
with
That's what I was just about
40
to say.
seconds left.
Right wing.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
he had a pretty shaky game, not stats wise, not percentages wise. Just there were some plays where like the layup or like the shot before Jaylen Brown hit the three to take it to OT, he wasn't executing. But what happened in overtime? He hit the dagger, and that's all that really matters. That's all she wrote. He showed up when it mattered, just like we're about to foreshadow to Luka showing up when it mattered. At the end of the day, that's all that really that's the most important thing, especially in the playoffs. You could struggle quarter 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Quarter 4, you go crazy, you win your team the game. It's all that freaking matters. Don't matter
That's
what
why
you
Jamal
did the
Murray.
first 3.
That's why Jamal Murray is so great in that series.
100%. So, unfortunate from the Pacers' point of view because it's one of those things where look, the Celtics are well groomed in this situation. They've been here many times. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. They've been in the finals a bunch of times. I mean,
Once.
in the sorry, like, but I mean, like in the Eastern Conference Finals and the
ECF.
finals,
Yeah.
they've been in this situation many times. So you have to pounce on any centimeter of error, any error they get. The Pacers, unfortunately, like I said, first time they're here since Paul George. So it's unfortunate that they couldn't execute. And my heart goes out because I think that's probably the series. They win game 1. They have a chance to win. But I think just, especially after game 2 where they went out and they just lost. They just got beaten on everything. Like hustle-wise, effort-wise, they just lost. It just wasn't there. And I think it's tough for them to bounce back. It's tough because the mental aspect of it is also really tough. It's eating at them probably. That we had game 1. How do you lose that? It's eating me. And I'm a nobody.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're undefeated at home in Indianapolis, so that would be kind of interesting how that plays out. I mean, Celtics obviously have like the greatest talent advantage left. I think like Mavericks and Timberwolves are pretty evenly matched, even though that series is 2-0. But this is like a talent disadvantage in the Celtics' favor. But I mean,
Absolutely.
maybe at home, their offense can just go nuclear like it did in game 1, and they can kind of just steamroll the Celtics. But it'll be kind of tough, especially with Halliburton's I think left leg injury. I want to say.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that. I think let's. This is a good transition point. Ooh, excuse me, burps are killing me. We're gonna go to game 2 now for the Pacers and the Celtics. It happened yesterday, and like I said a little bit ago, it was a loss. It was a loss from the beginning. It was obvious that the Pacers did not have what was going for them in game 1. Effort wise, they were getting beat. Halliburton didn't have just a great game overall. I just felt like he was getting guarded really well. And also he wasn't hitting tough shots like he was in game 1. So he was getting guarded better and he wasn't hitting tough shots, which is what was happening in game 1. He wasn't getting guarded as well, I think, and he was hitting tough shots. So it was just a very good game for him. It's not like he did horrible statistically. He was 4 for 8 and 2 for 6 from 3. 8 assists, 10 points. But I just felt like he wasn't getting... He also left the game a little bit early. He only played 28 minutes. But again, compared to game 1 where he took, I think, 18 shots in 12 more minutes, it felt like he wasn't there. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take this team to win the game. I didn't feel that from him. And I guess for the other players, the role players did not show up as much as they did in game 1, right? Turner had a significantly worse game, 8 points, 4 rebounds, compared to 23 points and 10 rebounds. Neesmith, Nimhard, all these guys struggled a lot more. Obi Toppin, they played a lot more of Ben Shepherd than game 1. Oh, no, sorry. Apologies. They played the same amount. He just had a better game in the second game. I don't know why I had to call that out. But overall, the role players didn't do as well for the Pacers. That's a recipe for disaster, right? Obviously, credit goes to the Celtics. I think they were able to lock up better. They were able to defend more. They kind of took them out of the rhythm, which I think is the key to beating the Pacers. If you could kind of disrupt their fast-paced transition offense, you're setting yourself for you're setting them up for a very tough game. And on the Celtics side, Jaylen Brown 40 points. Oh my god, insane game. And everyone played well. Again, it's just one of those things where if everyone is hooping, it's almost impossible for a team to lose. It really
Yeah,
is almost
yeah.
impossible. Tatum did struggle this game. He had a pretty bad game, 9 for 20 from the field.
He had a great fourth quarter though. I have to say
And that's what brought his field
I mean,
goal back because he wasn't
yeah, it
chucking
was up-
threes.
it was against bench. It was basically against a bench unit for most of it. So
Also that.
you know,
But yeah, not a very crazy game from him. But everyone else, very good game. I wasn't able to watch the second half because I had to go to the mosque. Shout out the mosque. But the first half I did watch, and that gave me a feeling that it's kind of over. Although there have been a lot of comebacks in this playoff, so I didn't really count the Pacers out because clearly tonight was an example of that, right? Coming back, winning a game in the clutch. So that's what I kind of took from game 2. It was pretty much just Celtic domination, which is what I expected. I'm sure you guys expected as well. As Wes said, talent-wise, they're better. Defensively, they're better. And when talent is doing better on one side, and defensively they're doing better, obviously, what did the Pacers beat them in?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like big picture, the next step for this Indiana team to really become like serious contenders against like a healthy New York, this Boston team, the Sixers, is like Tyrese becoming a better
we're in
scorer.
healthy New York, bro. They lost. It's okay.
Although it is a little bit of cope, but he is right. Wes is right though. Healthy New York is a good
Okay,
team.
Wes.
Healthy New York is a very good team. I agree with Wes wholeheartedly. It is funny though. I agree. like
In addition to Tyrese becoming a better scorer, we also need like what's his name? Is it Nemhard is the wing, but
Nemhard's not a
is the
wing. Neesmith is a wing. Okay, so
Nemhard
wait,
is
actually,
the small guard.
Nimhard is the
Whichever
guard.
one Nemhard. I think they have to unfortunately ship him. I really liked him in these playoffs. He's been really good. I just think they kind of need a bigger wing alongside Neesmith, Siakam, Turner.
They have
and
one.
Hallie.
He's hurt.
Wait, who?
Mathurin.
Yeah, I mean,
Benedict Mathurin has missed
he's a nice
his
scorer
whole
off the
playoffs. I think
bench.
he
I
would
just
be
feel like
huge for them.
defensively- Yeah, he would.
He would
but
be
I just
so
feel
huge
like,
for them. He's bigger.
I feel like
He gives you more
defensively-
size defensively.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess
Nimhard and him do the. He would be playing most of the minutes that Nimhard's playing. Nimhard does the same thing offensively, but he's smaller and worse defensively.
yeah. So maybe with a healthy Pacers team, then this team is a better chance. Like, because I feel like scoring in the half court is more their weakness. Obviously, in transition, they're lethal.
Yeah.
When Hallie's cooking, when Miles Turner has been so good in these playoffs, like he cooked the Knicks, bro. I can't even like in the Garden, bro. In
So
Game
good.
7, holy shit, bro, he was insane. But I just feel like they need a little more offensive punch in the half court. Like obviously transition, they're up there with the best, and that's the thing. Like even because I'm pretty sure the Boston Celtics are the best transition defense, and in Game 1 it was almost like mute compared to this Indiana Pacer transition defense when it's cooking. So that's obviously a good sign for the future. But yeah, I think this season they're kind of cooked with how things are looking. But yeah. That was more like a big picture analysis. But yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
you said some
there's a
stuff, but
couple
you could
things
kind of
like
do a whole. I can give you the floor.
yeah. I mean, well, there's a couple things like Aaron Neesmith is not a great player. I just don't like him. He's just bad. Like, I mean, there's not the defensive upside is not there to justify playing him big minutes on offense. He's scared to shoot. He can't attack the basket. He doesn't play make at all. He's just not a great player. But they have to play him big minutes because he's one of the only like serviceable big wings they have. Otherwise, you're looking at playing Ben Shepherd all those minutes, who is very similar to him in that he's limited offensively and not exactly elite defensively. So you kind of have no choice. Yeah, I mean, I think like to what was said, adding a wing is 100% their biggest priority. They need somebody to play alongside Siakam, Turner, and Halliburton going into the future, who's not Nimhard or Neesmith. I think Mathurin, like Wes said, he would be a better option than Neesmith or Nimhard, I think, even in these playoffs, but he probably profiles as more of a six-man going forward. And then, but like, okay, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, also like the size problem is killing them. Because Neesmith is not exactly a big guy. Nimhard is not a big guy at all.
Yeah.
Halliburton plays smaller than he is on defense because he's weak. And to be honest, I don't think he plays.
He's just
gives
thin.
enough.
He's pretty
thin
tall, but
and
he's
weak.
just thin.
I don't think he gives enough effort, to be honest.
Yeah.
He gets blown by a lot when I don't think he should. And so because of that, it's a lot of guys who are going to be perennial, like constant mismatches against talented wing scorers, and the Celtics happen to have two of them. I mean, Jaylen Brown just having his way with. I mean, there's nobody they can switch on to him who's going to give him a real contest. I was scared about Tatum because in my mind, I thought Tatum is even more capable of being really aggressive when he wants to and putting up a ton of shots and getting to the rim and all that stuff. But it hasn't been him. It's been Jaylen Brown who's taken the reins.
Loves settling. That's his go-to move.
Dude, he loves
settling for a
well,
three.
But that was partially because yes, he does love settling. But when he's settling for like 15-foot jumpers, he can get hot and hit like 6 of them in a row. I mean, we've seen him do it in the playoffs before, but that was but it hasn't been him doing it. It's been Jaylen Brown taking the reins and taking the basketball and taking it to the cup and just getting all these easy buckets against these small, weak, just not very skilled Pacers defenders. And then on top of that, the way that they rotate is so piss poor. They're constantly giving up open threes. Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford, even Tatum, they've just gotten their multiple shots at open threes every single game. That's a horrible recipe for against a team that's like basically the best shooting team in basketball, who has like 6 or 7 players who can shoot the three at on any given possession. It's a terrible recipe. You can't be sloppy rotating against a team like that. But they are sloppy. That's kind of like their whole defensive approach. It's sloppy. It's weak. They don't put in effort. And like they're just not gonna be able to win anything until they up their defensive ability. Now I think again, like to what Wes was saying, they need to add a wing, but it's going to need to be a guy who is competent and probably more than competent, good on the defensive end, because that's what they really need. And then offensively, I've already ranted for a little bit, but offensively, I'll say like Siakam's played great. Siakam's played at a level where I think that they could be competitive in this series if he keeps playing like that. Turner's played great, playing at a level where I think if he keeps playing like at that level, they could be competitive in this series. Halliburton, we'll see what happens with the injury. Game 1, he played great. And if he could carry that performance into games 3 and 4, again, I do think that they have a shot at taking both of those games at home. However, they're going to need Nembhard or Obi Toppin or Nesmith, which I doubt, because again, like I said, I really don't like, he sucks and I don't like him as a player. But one of those guys to show up and give him like 20 to supplement that offense. And these are guys who have shown they're capable of doing that previously in these playoffs, but it's been against worse defenses who aren't as disciplined and don't have the effort to stop them in transition. And if the Celtics keep playing the kind of tenacious defense, because in game 2, they were just swarming the Pacers all over the court. Halliburton couldn't do anything. His handle was completely limited. He couldn't get to the cup. He couldn't even get his step back off. I mean, when he did, it was horrible and contested. I think it's going to be really difficult for any of those role players to show up in games 3 and 4, and that's what they're going to need to carry them home. So, yeah, I mean, I said Celtics in 6. At this point, it's really tough for me to see that. I would probably drop it down to Celtics in 5. But it could happen. They're just going to need something unusual from one of their role players.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of signaled perfectly what I was going to go towards next. I was going to ask, now that the series is 2 games in, do we change what our initial predictions were? I had Celtics in 6.
I think
could see 4 or a gentleman's sweep now. I don't think the Pacers mentally recover from fumbling game 1. I think that is going to haunt them. That has killed their whole entire
dream,
I think, to be honest. Maybe an over exaggeration, over exaggeration. But yeah, I have Celtics. I would take confidently in 5. Could even see a sweep. Wes,
yeah. I think I originally had Celtics in 6 as well, which would have been pretty accurate if the Pacers were able to win game 1, because I think they would have won in 6 then. But seeing as they lost game 1, which is their only like kind of chance of making this a real series, it's probably going to be Celtics in 5. Yeah, I agree.
All right, now let's transition to
Thomas. What did you say? You said Celtics in 5 or sweep?
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
Okay, now let's switch. Let's travel over to the other conference, the Western Conference. Game 1. Let's just get straight into it. I could start. I said missing persons report because unfortunately, the 2 stars for the Timberwolves, the 2 especially offensive stars, right? Because obviously Gobert is like the defensive star for them. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, nowhere to be seen. Crucial game. It's a big game one. You're at home. You have the momentum of just beating the Nuggets, the reigning champs, or the ex reigning champs.
And most people's title favorite too.
Absolutely, most people's title favorites. Vegas has you as favorites as well. So it's like everything is in your favor. Cat and Anthony Edwards did not show up. The lights were too bright. They struggled. They struggled a lot. Ant in game 1, 6 for 16 from the field. And his from 3 he was solid. He was 5 for 12, which was 5 of his 6 shots. If you really think about it, they were not letting him penetrate. He was not able to do anything. Their defense on him, and we have to give a shout out to one of our hosts. He called it greatly.
Oh, yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr. was doing good defense. Thomas, I agreed with you. He's rolling.
It's had nothing to do. It's had nothing to do with Derrick Jones
I
Jr.
disagree.
It's had nothing to do with him.
I disagree. And I'm gonna say something. You'll have your moment to also talk about it. I thought it was a slight over exaggeration from just game 1, but even game 2, Ant has struggled. And who is his primary defender? DJJ. So I have to admit he is annoying. He is annoying Ant.
It had nothing to do with him.
He is annoying Ant. Yeah, Ant's missing good looks and open looks, so he's off his rhythm too. But guess what, brother? When a defender is on you, his job is to get you off your rhythm. The defender gets you off your rhythm, not nobody, not just me. Yeah, there's a partial factor as maybe the lights are too bright. Maybe he's getting into his own head. But I think Ant is very strong mentally. He showed that in the Nuggets series. He came back game 7. He played well. He had Jamal in cuffs in second half. You know what I mean? So he's a strong guy mentally. So just to be like, oh, this is like a Clay moment where just 0 for 10, he just disappeared. No, DJJ we have to give him his flowers. He has been doing a solid job. He has been pestering him. He's been annoying him, and he's gotten him off his stride. Is it 100% all DJJ? No, because he's been missing open looks. He's been missing good looks that he was hitting against the Nuggets, which is very unfortunate. But DJJ, West was spot on. He was a good defender. He's been annoying him. Cat, the big men for the Mavs have been stepping up. The rookie Derek Lively, wow, he's just playing so well. He's playing above his role, and I've said this time and time again. Any team that wins a chip, you have their role players playing a step above their pay grade. They're showing up. They're doing the things that you don't really see them doing on a nightly basis. And guess what? They're doing that. Can you repeat that, Thomas? Wes?
Porter, Poole, prime
Otto
example.
Porter, Poole, GP2. These guys showed up for us when we needed them, and that's what's happening with the Mavs. The other big man, I'm blanking. Garland, not Garland.
Gafford.
He's also playing well. He struggled in game 1 in the beginning. I remember Luka was like kind of getting annoyed with him slightly, which I think is a little bit like I get it. It's intense at the moments, but you're the leader. You got to be a guy like Ant. To be honest, I think Ant he doesn't like. He was kind of getting visibly upset at Gafford. Obviously, it's an over. I'm reading way too much, but it was like in the beginning, I kind of like it happened like twice where Gafford was trying to give him a high five when the timeout called. Luka kind of left him hanging. I think as a team, you gotta like stick to United, bro. It's game 1. He made a couple of errors, but that's besides the point. I'm not gonna be like Stephen A. Smith and like, oh, he's a horrible leader. I'm not gonna say all that. But the role players are really showing up, and you can't say that for the stars are not showing up for the Timberwolves. Jaden McDaniels. And I'm going on a rant that's way too long. Sorry, I'm going to give you guys the floor as well. Crazy game. He was like not missing any damn shot. If Cat or Ant, if one of them had a respectable game, not even like their average game, the Timberwolves are winning that game. None of them showed up. And that's similar even to today's game, but I'm not gonna get to that yet. Kyle Anderson. Also got to give a shout out, PD, our PD lookalike, our fellow friend from what podcast, Thomas? Over the Counting the Yards,
The Passing Downs,
fellow friend from Passing Downs. He looks like PD. He played well as well. They were leaving him open. He has such a ugly jumper. It kind of hit me that game. I was like, wow, this is genuinely one of the ugliest jumpers I've ever seen. But he was playing well. From the Mavs, Kyrie, first half, cold. Second half, he passed the reins off to his young leader, Luka, and he did the rest. So if the two best players on the court are for the Mavs, and the role players are playing better, obviously the Mavs are going to win. So, for the first two games, the two best players on the court have been Kyrie and Luka, without a shadow of a doubt. The best role players have been
Naz Reid, come on, Naz Reid.
True. I'm gonna say
Naz Reid's nice.
But I would say overall, like consistency wise, it's been the Mavs, but Naz Reid. Today's game, we'll get to that in a second. But that's I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cut myself short because I know I want to leave you guys some room to talk about stuff as well for game one. Go ahead, open floor.
Thomas, you can go first since you wanna.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, just like about the Derrick Jones Jr. thing. Look.
Locked up.
The Mavericks are doing a phenomenal job collapsing on Ant on his drives and forcing him to pass out. The amount of passes that Ant has had to make coming off of drives is far more than we've seen from him at any point, like throughout this playoffs. And I mean, not that I watched every Timberwolves game in the regular season, but he's definitely more than he would be doing in an average regular season game. And again, okay, Derrick Jones Jr., good defensive player. Anthony Edwards is consistently cooking him off his first step, going towards the basket. I just, you cannot watch these games and tell me that's not happening. Now, yes, is their defensive scheme clearly well designed to make Ant, try to turn Ant into a passer by collapsing on his drives because they know that that's not his strength, because they know that it's going to force him to settle for tougher jumpers that he's not going to hit consistently? Yes. Is Derrick Jones Jr. locking him up? Just no, it's not happening. You can say it's happening, but that's if you watch the games on the court, that's not what's happening. Derrick Jones Jr. is not consistently containing Anthony Edwards on his drives. It's good rotations and good and secondary rotations to get out to the shooters that Ant is finding that is allowing this defense to contain Anthony Edwards. Now, to be fair, there have been a couple possessions where Anthony Edwards has foolishly, instead of trying to run the pick and roll where he's been pretty consistently getting to the basket throughout this entire series, he has foolishly called for isolations, and Derrick Jones Jr. has forced him to pass out of those isolations or even forced him to, I think he's blocked a couple of his jumpers or literally forced a turnover. But that's not the majority of possessions. That's a couple of possessions where Ant is clearly like letting the bright lights get to him and playing like, I mean, not to be disrespectful, but he's playing like a moron. That was happening more towards the end of game one, not so much this game. But towards the end of game one, Ant called for a couple ISOs against Derrick Jones Jr. And to be fair, that's where DJJ is the strongest on defense, is defending straight in isolation, where he can use his length and his athleticism to stay with guys and bother their jumpers. What he's terrible at is when he comes around screens and off ball, he gets stuck on screens so often. When Anthony Edwards has been running the pick and roll, Derrick Jones Jr. and I'm not sure if I've seen him get over a screen once successfully. Anthony Edwards that's why he's consistently getting downhill, and yet nothing is coming of it because of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, and I think even to a certain extent guys like Josh Green and stuff, even Luka. They're rotating in, and they're doing that classic thing that we heard. I mean, years ago when talking about Giannis, that we hear when talking about Embiid, that we hear when talking about all of these guys who are great at getting to the rim. You build the wall. You build a wall of defenders, close them off, and force them to pass out and reset the offense. And that's what the Mavs are doing perfectly. Now, I'm not saying Derrick Jones Jr. isn't helping with this at all. When he's not the primary matchup on Ant, he's the one rotating. And when he is the primary matchup on Ant, he's had some good possessions. But he's not locking him up. I think we have to give credit primarily to, I guess maybe Jason Kidd, although I know he has a poor reputation as a coach, but clearly they've come out very disciplined this series. So credit to Jason Kidd. And just generally to the Pacers I keep saying the Pacers, the Mavericks as a team for the way that they've been playing team defense on Anthony Edwards. And look, this circles back to this last point, and then I'm done. This circles back to a point that I've always tried to make, which is that if your primary ball handler is not a good playmaker, you are going to struggle. That is a really tough ask for any team to run efficient offense in the playoffs when your primary ball handler is not a great playmaker. Anthony Edwards is trying his damn best, I will say that. And he's making the right passes sometimes, but he's not making the great passes. And when you're playing against a defense that's as energized and as tenacious and as talented as the Mavericks clearly is, you have to make the exceptional passes to beat them. And Anthony Edwards, when he has the ball in his hands, he's not going to be able to do that consistently. So I think that's where they're struggling. Oh, okay, wait. I said that was the last thing. Very quickly, Karl-Anthony Towns needs to shoot better. End of
Okay,
analysis.
I'm
He
gonna
just
pause you.
needs
I'm gonna
to.
pause you right here. I'm gonna pause you right here because so far you've
I'm
been
done.
talking about no. You could continue on your analysis for the game. I'm gonna pause you because you were mainly talking about your reason why DJJ was not locking him up. So I'm gonna give Wes a chance to speak because I also spoke on that a little
Okay.
bit to kind of respond back, kind of solidify what his whole take is. Go ahead, Wes. Don't start
Yeah,
your
I mean,
analysis on this game though. Sorry, don't start your analysis on this because I'm gonna give the rock back to Thomas to let him finish his analysis,
Ooh.
and then you could finish your analysis after that. This is
So
just
this is like
purely on
a
DJJ.
debate within a debate. So just
Precisely.
like just this. Okay. I mean, I won't completely disagree with what Thomas is saying. Like, I don't think it's. I guess the narrative that Derek Jones Jr. is locking up and is not completely accurate, but he is the primary matchup and he's doing a pretty good job. And the main scheme is just like Derek Lively and Gafford and all their bigs just kind of bothering him at the rim. And we've seen it even in game one and game two. He's just kind of scared to go inside and he's settling a lot. And I don't know if that's a matter of like he's scared to get fouled or he's just like it takes more energy, so it's easier to just like put up a three instead of going inside. I mean, I remember like in game one, there was a key possession where like there was a fight for an offensive rebound, and then they passed it to Ant, and he had like a not a wide open lane, but the defense was kind of scrambled, so he probably could have driven in under like a not set defense, but he pulled up for three. He made the shot, but and it was huge momentum for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but I think it probably wasn't the smartest shot at that moment. But and I remember thinking like in my head like, oh, that's not a very smart shot, and he took it anyways. And I feel like it's just a sign that like he's kind of scared to go inside. So I would attribute it more to the bigs being like great rim protectors inside, Derek Lively, Gafford, all that. So yeah, I don't completely disagree about DJJ.
I'm gonna pass the rock back to Thomas. You could finish your overall game analysis aside from like the DJJ locking up.
Oh
Ant.
yeah. I mean, I was just like Karl-Anthony Towns. He's cold from three. If he continues to be cold from three, they're going to lose because I mean, he's like their best. He's basically their best 3-point shooter. I mean, I know he's their center, but he's basically their best 3-point shooter. I mean, I guess Naz Reid. I mean, he has something to say about that, but on a broader sample size, he's theoretically their best 3-point shooter. And if he's going to shoot like 20-something% from three, they're probably cooked. And then anything else? I guess like to go to the other side of the ball. Game one, Luka Doncic had his shot going in a way that we probably hadn't seen from this whole playoffs. He was hitting jumpers consistently. When Luka Doncic hits jumpers consistently, he's basically unstoppable. That's the part of his game that always, in my opinion, dooms him. It's because he can't hit jumpers consistently and he settles for them too much. When he's hitting them, I mean, what do? He's the way that his size, and when I say size, I don't just mean height. I mean his bull. When he's able to use that to carve out space for himself to get that jumper off, the leaning action he has on that jumper, where he basically is always falling back when he takes it, no matter what, makes it very difficult to contest. When he has that touch going, I mean, from out to like what 26 feet or whatever, like you can't do anything. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's my last point. Like, you better the Timberwolves, because again, this is a series I think Timberwolves can still win. They better hope he doesn't have another game like that or another stretch like that in multiple games, because that could also doom them.
Yeah, I mean another kind of tying into your Luka kind of getting it going at in the mid range. Another point of contention between like me and both of you was that like Jay McDaniels, I said that Jay McDaniels couldn't really lock up, or I guess Luka wouldn't feel his size, and you guys were like, well, he's looking for a lot of jumpers, so he's not really getting inside and bullying Jay McDaniels in the post. But Luka is getting him on his back, and when the guy is not like Lou Dort's size and he's just a little slimmer, which Shea McDaniels is, Luka getting the guy on his back and kind of just like working him to a spot and then pulling up to that mid range, that shot's way more comfortable. And he is using his size. Like he doesn't feel Jay McDaniels as much as a bigger defender could, make him feel more uncomfortable. So Luka is kind of imposing him size in less traditional ways, I guess, but he is definitely imposing him size, and that's how he's kind of getting going because. I don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves have anyone. I mean, I guess Kyle Anderson is kind of like I was saying in the chat. Kyle Anderson is kind of their best chance at getting like a a good matchup on Luka because I think Kyle Anderson's a little bit bigger than Jay McDaniels. Obviously, he's not as
Yes, yeah.
quick screen navigating. He's not as good as Jay McDaniels, but I think for the particular Luka matchup, Kyle Anderson's probably the best shot, and he's just not good enough. I think to make him feel uncomfortable. So that's the story of the series. I think Luka's phenomenal play is going to continue, unfortunately. So
Let's just shift on immediately to game 2. One of you guys take the floor for game 2. I've been starting the analysis, so I want to give you guys like the chance to kind of dive deeper. If there's anything you guys want to add, if it's more or less the same, then we can stop.
Let's talk about it. So game 2. So game 1, I was just talking about how in game 1 Luka had his jumper going. Game 2, now we're gonna get around to the last shot. I'm gonna try to start it from a more broad point. Luka did not have his jumper going. Can we objectively agree on that? That with the exception of the last shot, Luka did not have his jumper going this game.
Yeah.
But what he was doing very well, and I think this actually mirrors a lot like Ant on the other side. Ant and Luka are similar in that they both are talented at getting to the rack. Now they do it in different ways. Luka does it using his size, his handle, and his it's a cliche, but his basketball IQ. Like he's very crafty, he's smart, he understands how to get guys on his back, he slithers in, he navigates the defense and gets to the rim. But similarly to the way that the Timberwolves, what's up?
Like a manatee kind of.
Like a manatee, or like a hippopotamus. It's a fatter animal than a hippopotamus. Is there anything?
Like a whale
panda.
shark.
Like a whale shark, yeah.
A panda. Yeah.
He's also great at getting to the rim. Like everybody knows this. But similarly to the way that the Timberwolves are trying to play defense on Ant, the way that the Mavericks try to play defense on Ant, the Timberwolves are trying to do the same thing to Luka. They're trying to rotate in, condense their defense around him when he gets the rack, and make him play make. Now, big difference. Luka Doncic is probably the best playmaker, well, except for Jokic. It's maybe second best playmaker in the NBA. His ability to find the right guy is phenomenal. It's almost otherworldly. He always gets the ball to the most open guy. That's his biggest strength as a player. That's what makes him who he is. Now, the difference is, at least theoretically, the difference is that in the case of the Mavericks, the shooters around him are not quite as good as the shooters around Ant. So theoretically, it should kind of even out. Sure, Ant's not as great a playmaker.
But do you mean Jokic or
No.
do you mean Ant?
I mean Ant, because I'm talking about how they're both of these guys in this series, they're getting the rim pretty consistently, but they're not being able to finish. Now, the theoretical difference is, okay, Ant's not as great a playmaker, but he doesn't have to be because he has better shooters. As long as he finds them, they'll hit it. Luka's going to find the open guy every time, but his guys, even when they're open, they might not hit it. That's the difference. But the problem is, for the Timberwolves, Luka's guys, the Mavs guys, they are hitting their shots. PJ Washington, he cooled off a little bit today, but I think he still hit one. Derek Jones Jr. has been hitting his shots this series. Again, not quite as much today, but more or less he has. Kyrie was hitting all of his shots today for the most part.
Man.
Jesus Christ. Jalen Hardy's hit a couple of threes. Who else? I'm doing this off the top of my head.
Can't be Gafford, can't play Lively. I'm trying to think who else Josh Green, I guess. He was in for a bit towards the end. But
Hardy had some big moments.
He's so underrated. I fucking love that guy. He's just with Kyrie and Luke, he's kind of repetitive, unfortunately. But he's a great player.
But like that's the thing. Like if Luka's role play, it's really tough for when you have a guy who's as talented a passer as Luka. If his role players are going to play well, like it's not a lot you do. It's like the whole point when you try to defend Luka is you're like, okay, you don't let him, like you make him just find the worst guy on the court every single time, make that guy try to do something. But when that guy's doing something, like it's really tough. I mean, I don't fully understand. I'm not sure how the Timberwolves are going to play defense against this Mavs team when everybody's firing on all cylinders like this. I mean, yeah, even like the lobs, like it's really tough. The defense is so condensed, and everybody's around the basket, and yet Lucas still finds these guys for lobs. Like
even Kyrie's finding like Lively is such a great lob thrower. Like he's so long. Like you can't just throw it anywhere up there, and he's gonna.
He was what Wiseman was supposed to be for us,
dude. Literally, god damn. But like 7'1" ish, and like, yeah, that's just such a big target that like Kyrie's not like the greatest playmaker. He's a great passer, but playmaking, he's pretty good still, but he can just still find Lively no matter like just stick him on the trees, like through Gobert, through Cat, through Nasri, he can still find him just because he's such a big target. And he attracts so much. Obviously, same with Luka in different ways, but they still attract guys, and they're such great offensive players, like scoring, finesse, passing. A lot of
I've also been
firepower.
really disappointed with Conley and mostly Conley and I guess Nickeil Alexander-Walker to a certain extent when he's been out there. Their defense on Kyrie, I was expecting them to do better against him. They haven't. I mean, Kyrie's Kyrie. He's incredible. He's quick. He's Kyrie. What are you gonna say? But like, he is getting everything he wants. He's getting past them. He's getting to his step back. They're just not there, and he's feasting on it. He's been hot and cold because he's always kind of a hot and cold guy, but he's been hot way more than he's been cold, and that's another problem. Like, yeah,
I mean, I feel like Jay McDaniels would probably be the best matchup for Kyrie, just because he's obviously a little too. He's big. He's good at screen navigation. He's probably the best guy, but he kind of has to, like, the defense kind of centers in on Luka, so it makes it harder to guard these other guys that are serious threats, like Kyrie is, you know. So, but,
and that's the thing, because like they have Kyle Anderson out there to defend Luka, but you can't do that too much because he's such a negative offensively.
yeah,
So you can't have him out there for long periods of time. Like, so when he's not out there, then Jaden McDaniels has to go. Because when Kyle Anderson's out there, Jaden McDaniels is guarding Kyrie, and it looks better. The second that Kyle Anderson's off the court, Jaden McDaniels is back to guarding Luka, and then again you're left with subpar, I guess, defenders on Kyrie. Like, not these are subpar defenders, Alexander Walker and Conley. They haven't looked great this series.
yeah.
And then also Mike Conley, like, he just had a terrible fourth quarter. Like for tonight, we're talking about this game specifically, game 4. He really did sell them that game in a lot of different ways. Terrible, like with 5 minutes left, he had a terrible pass where he tried to feed it inside to Gobert, but there was a guy standing in front of Gobert, and it was just like an obvious turnover. He had back-to-back bad fouls. One he gets in, I think, Kyrie's landing space. The other one he grabs Derrick Jones Jr., I think. Derrick Jones Jr.
Yes.
grabs him.
Yeah.
And it leads to that illegal screen. He attempts to take that 3 that gets blocked. I don't know what he was thinking there. He's like, there's a guy in his face. He's coming off the screen. He attempts to take 3 anyways.
Dude, that Gafford,
Yeah,
was that an and-1? Was that an and-1 when he got back there going the other way? Or was that just like
Oh, God, yeah, that was such a foul. But
yeah, it was.
I mean,
it feels kind of
they were letting everybody play, so I can't be too mad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when you said like Conley had like a terrible fourth quarter, I didn't really. Obviously, he's making the bad plays, but I don't really attribute it all to like it's not really his fault. Like it's not his responsibility always
I'm just saying
to initiate the offense. I think it just kind of goes back to Ant not like taking enough of the responsibility on the offense end, because that's the thing with this Minnesota Timberwolves. They're as much as they're getting scored on, they're playing defense well enough to be in the game. It's just they can't execute towards the end enough, and that goes back to Ant. That goes back to Mike Conley having to take too much responsibility. Like I remember, there was like so many plays towards the end. Like I don't think they got like a cohesive clutch play towards the end. While the Mavericks were just executing as best they can. I mean, obviously you can't make 100% of the shots, but they're getting good shots. But meanwhile, for the Timberwolves offense, it's just like frantically passing it to Conley, frantically passing it to Naz Reid, shooting a 3. I mean, Naz Reid was on one, but like still, that's not really like an offensive system. It was kind of just like
It's
running through the hot hand, which I guess, I mean, it'd be kind of cool if they use Naz Reid as like a decoy more to get Ant going or get Mike Conley going, but rather it was just like kind of pass to me, pass to you on the perimeter, not really doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, two things to that. One, Karl Anthony Towns playing like dog shit is just killing so much of their offense. Like, because you can't, like, he's the ISO guy.
At the end of the game, he's on the bench.
They had to bench him. He's playing so badly. Like, he's the guy, like, again, in the run up to this series, what I tried to highlight was, look, the Mavs, Lively has good size. Gafford have good size, but what they're both great at is being roamers and rim protectors on defense. I thought Cat could really carve out some space against them on the inside and get some easy buckets. And he's had some opportunities. He's had some chances at the rim. And he's either just literally missing because of lack of touch, or like getting packed. He looks really uncomfortable and off balance when he's getting inside. And when you compound that with the fact that he's also cold from 3, like, he's basically unplayable. Because, I mean, look, he had some good defensive moments on Jokic in that second series, but he's not like a phenomenal defender that you have to keep out there. You need him to contribute on offense for him to be out there.
It's just that particular matchup that he's pretty good at.
Yeah, it was really that particular matchup. And then also like, yeah, they don't seem to run. I really wish they would try to run more stuff for Ant off ball because like he's not like he's good, but he's not like a phenomenal ball handler. You know, like he's not Tyrese Halliburton, right? Like he's not somebody who you want constantly running the pick and roll because again, like the playmaking limitations and like his handle isn't perfect and all that stuff. Like I would love to see the ball in Conley's hands at the beginning of possessions and then finding Ant, getting Ant into spots where you can create from, like running him, off downscreen and stuff. But they're not doing that. They seem to just toss that to him on the perimeter and then set the screen for him. Like I don't. He like and look, he's been having success coming off screens, getting downhill. But clearly, the results of those plays usually aren't buckets because they're rotating well and they're turning that into nothing. Even if he is getting downhill, it's not leading to anything.
Yeah.
So they need to really reevaluate this. There's a lot of things for the Timberwolves I think that they can reevaluate. It's down 2 games, there's time. Down 3 games, you're out of time. You're done. Down 2 games, you have they have this next break. You need to reevaluate these things. You need to Cat needs to, I don't know, like do some meditation or something, get himself right. They need to try to get Ant working more off ball, and they need to try to figure out like they need to reevaluate how they're gonna. I don't know if they give Luka more attention on defense, or if they maybe just bite the bullet and play Cal Anderson more minutes to see if you can guard him better 1-on-1, and just accept your offense is going to be even worse. But I don't know if that's a good strategy because like your offense already looks pretty rough, and also just hope that your shooting left turns around. Like Jaden McDaniels was hot game 1, cold game 2. Maybe him and Cat and Naz Reid are cold or are hot game 3, and they just went off of that. You know, I don't know. I'm still leaning Timberwolves game 7, partially because I don't want to be wrong, but also partially because I think this
You'd be wrong.
They have that fight.
You said Wolves.
Okay, well, I would be less. I'd be
You're
less
picking the
wrong,
right team.
okay?
You're picking the right team. Yeah.
I'd be less wrong, okay? Like, but this Wolves team, they have heart in them. This coaching staff has proven that they can adjust before. These are all quality players we're talking about. We know Anthony Edwards has it in him to, up his game a level. We know Cat just came off a great playoff series. We know he has that in him. There's no more like, Cat is soft narrative. Like, that's done. And like Gobert has actually been great this series, so they have that going for them. But yeah,
I think I'm.
I mean,
oh,
I was just gonna say like, it's so weird to think about like giving our series predictions. I was like the most conservative with Timberwolves in 7. You guys were like between Timberwolves and 5 or 6, and like now it's possibly looking like it's probably not going to be a sweep, but like it could potentially just be 5 or 6 in the Mavericks favor because they're looking that good. And I feel like our expectations were like way different for Ant and Cat. I mean, obviously you kind of expect some inconsistency from Cat. Even in the Nuggets series, he didn't play perfect offensively. Like obviously in their wins, he was great, but in their losses, obviously he was a big reason they lost. I just feel like Ant, we're not used to seeing this dole of an Ant. I mean, I feel like in some of the games, they just kind of rode their defense and that gave them the win. And Ant didn't have to play like incredible, but for the most part, he's been playing like phenomenal in these playoffs. And I was ready to rank him up there with like the top 5 players, but like obviously back to back kind of playoff duds. I mean, think about like this first 2 series, he dominated. Like he beat the title favorites. He swept KD, Book, and Beal. He was looking good, but now that's back to back playoff duds, and you're not going to win if you don't have playoff success, in my opinion. So.
yeah, I think so far I gotta say everything you guys are saying I wholeheartedly agree with. You guys hit the nail on the head for everything. It's just been, and I think I want to add like Thomas, I guess credit to Jason Kidd. No, absolutely, you have to give credit to Jason Kidd because the defensive one of the co-hosts, we're gonna leave him unnamed, did a punching gesture.
Jason Kidd. That's the thing about Jason Kidd, like, because he's not just a great coach; he's a great human being. You know what's success for him.
So, anyways,
family man.
He's one of those guys you just.
He's a family man. He's a family man. More on the basketball side of things, I think the defensive rotations and the shutting down of Ant is definitely on DJJ and the staff and the role and just switching and in the scheme. So absolutely shout out the coaching staff. They've done great things, and the T-Wolves coaching staff have also proven themselves against obviously the Nuggets, which everyone thought were like gods,
unstoppable,
literally
yeah.
like gods. Like facing them is basically death. So I'm not counting out the T-Wolves at all, so I don't want to do recency bias and
React, yeah.
overreact exactly. But I think just based off the two games, it's just been Mavs. It hasn't been Mavs domination in the regard that they've been dominating the games, but their scheme has been doing really well. Their stars are showing up when it matters, and their role players are doing the things that the role players are rolling. So it's been a domination in the aspect
Bar.
that they are doing it. They're doing everything. So do I see them doing this for the next two games? I don't. I don't think they play as perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna catch myself there. Here's the thing. So you guys had mentioned that, or no, Thomas had mentioned, not to be like, oh, you were wrong, but just like what I noticed is that Kyrie did not do super hot until the third and the fourth quarters of this game. That was the major difference. Like last game, the first half he was super hot. This game, even to the third quarter, I believe he was like 1 for 8. But he turned it up when it mattered. And the same thing with Luka.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were going crazy from quarter 1 to quarter 4. It's just that they're showing up when it matters. Last game, same thing. First half, Kyrie. Second half, Luka. This game, literally until the half, I believe, of the third quarter, Kyrie wasn't doing too hot. Luka was doing his thing, but it wasn't super dominating. He was missing some shots, but he showed up when it freaking matters. That shot is going to go down. In my opinion, the bubble shots were huge in the game winners and all
That
that.
bubble shot was insane.
It was insane, but
still
like I
remember
said, Thomas and I were talking briefly about before like when we joined the Zoom and you were using the restroom. The stakes are so much higher, right? We're so much higher today.
Yeah, but
Much higher.
you get the double bang. You get the double bang from Mike Breen
True.
in the bubble.
True. The
That's
bang,
so sick.
bang. I agree. It's good, but what happened today was higher stakes, and it is for the finals. And I think winning today, oh my goodness, this is like the opposite Pacer game, where game 1 the Pacers win that, they could very damn well swing the series in their favor because it's just such a rattle. It's like, oh my God, they stole a game. They were looking dominating. What's going to happen? They ride that momentum. Hey, maybe they could win it in 6 or 7. This game is the opposite of that. The Mavs lose today. It's still the Timberwolves series, in my opinion. Because, look, the Timberwolves will win 1. It's 2-2. Timberwolves come back home. They win. Maybe game 7, they'll win it. But now 2 games. And I think the lights are clearly too bright for Cat right now. Obviously, that narrative is all that BS. He showed up against the Nuggets, but they're in a very awkward position right now because they're down 2. They're going away. The Mavs are smoking hot right now. I think Luka has another good game. I think Kyrie has more or less the game he had today. Kind of like streaky, but still he's doing his thing. I think the role players offensively, that's the thing. Like, it's funny because the role players aren't even doing insane things. Like PJ Washington isn't hitting like 6 of 8 from downtown. It's that they're going to their spot, they're finishing lobs, they're setting their screens, they're playing well defensively. So it's like you look at the score sheet for the Mavs, the 2 guys outside of Luka and Kyrie, Gafford, Lively. But what's mainly their offensive game? It's lob threat. It's not like they're going in the post or the finishing fades and they're playing like a Siakam type game. So do you see that decreasing? Do I see that decreasing? Not really. Because Luka is a Luka. He's a playmate. That's what he does. That's his specialty. It's beautiful. It's the reason why Ant is struggling so much more than Luka, because when they close on Luka, boom, playmate. Ant is not as strong as that. You see that clearly. So I don't see the role players as of like today's game. You look at today's roster. Like, yeah, the first game, even if you look at the first game, bro, it's very much top heavy with Luka and Kyrie, and the role players are excelling defensively, which is stuffing the Timberwolves offensive game, but then they're doing their thing by lob threat, finishing lobs. Gafford had an insane layup by a not a great pass by Luka. It was like the full court pass where Gafford was falling and he threw it up. It was not a good pass by Luka, and it was a crazy finish by Gafford. So they're doing their things.
Crazy foul by Gafford.
Do you see?
But it was. I
Sure.
need you at least admit that.
Honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head. So I can't really wholeheartedly. I'll take your word for it.
I mean, it was
a
against
crazy
Con,
finish.
so Conley might have just like fallen anyway. He's that much smaller than Gafford though. So
But Gafford shoved him in the back.
it
Off
didn't
the
look
top of my head,
egregious.
Exactly. It wasn't. I will agree with that. It didn't look egregious. Maybe it was a foul, sure, but it was an insane finish. It was a crazy finish.
Yeah.
And do I see those type of shots falling for the role players next game? Maybe not. But I still see them being efficient because of lob threat. It's not a tough shot to finish when your playmaker is Luka goddamn Doncic. So I am going to retract my initial take on the series because I was just wrong. I don't think the Timberwolves are winning the series.
Okay.
I think I was wrong. I'm going to say that wholeheartedly. I think the Mavs are wrong. Shout out West for being so conservative. I thought he was insane for that. I thought he
wouldn't want to be
stupid for
wrong
that.
twice. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't want to be wrong, right? But I would also be doing a disservice to myself if I didn't speak my truth. Snap the fingers, slay. So I'm going to have to go without overreacting. Woo! Man, it's tough because there's recency bias. I'm high off today's game. Luka could have very well missed a shot. Kyrie missed 2 crucial free throws. The Timberwolves could have stolen this game with Ant and Cat struggling. But here's the thing. I just think Ant struggling is a very surgical reason why he's struggling. It's not just because the lights are too bright. Because
He's fatigued too. He's definitely
fatigued too. And the
Yes.
defensive scheme and defensive rotations that the Mavs are doing is beautiful. Cat struggling as he's been doing, I see him bouncing back. Now,
I agree
will
wholeheartedly.
that lead to the Timberwolves stealing a game or two? Yes. So here's what I have to go for. I think the Mavs are going to win it. That's what I'm going to strongly say now. Now, in what number? I don't know. Could it be Mavs in 4? Yeah. Could it be Mavs in 5? Yeah. Could it be Mavs in 6? Yeah. It could be Mavs in 7. But that's cope, so I'm going to go with the number. I think Cat's going to come back, play strongly. I think maybe Kyrie struggles a little bit more. Maybe Luka struggles a little bit more. I think that the Mavs are going to take one at home. So I think when they come back to the Target Center, it's going to be 3-1 in the Mavs' favor. Do the Mavs take game 4 or game 5, game 3 or game 4? I think game 4. So I think it'll be in 5 or 6. I could also very much see it in 7. What's up,
number?
brother?
If you're making a prediction, it's got to be one number.
And the reason I said what's up, brother, because you guys can't see the face, but Thomas was staring at the camera, dead face.
I was holding up a one
finger up, so I had to hit
one
him with the
finger.
what's up, brother.
I was trying to let him know so he didn't embarrass himself. By
It was indecisive.
I am very
5 or
indecisive.
6. I don't know.
I'm very, very indecisive, and because I hate being wrong. That's the truth of it. I just hate being
it could
wrong.
be either team. It could be in 4, 5, 6, or 7 games. Oh.
I'm gonna have to go if my co-hosts are pressuring me, rightfully so. I'm gonna have to go with. Ooh. I don't want to overreact and say Mavs in 5, but my gut is saying Mavs in 5, but my logical side is saying Mavs in 6. So I'm gonna go Mavs in 6.
Mavs in 6. Okay.
Mavs in 6.
I'm
Oh,
also
by the way,
sorry.
I just want to put this out into the universe. Skip Bayless said Anthony Edwards is the next Michael Jordan, more like Michael B. Jordan.
That's so bad. That's so bad, bro. That was so
He's literally
disrespectful.
the
That was
GOAT.
so
Skip
disrespectful.
is literally
to
the
Jordan.
GOAT.
It's
Dude,
so
Could
disrespectful
you
to
imagine how
Jordan.
offended Skip Bayless was? Like, oh my god.
It's really bad because Ant was the man for 2 series. Was the man for against the Suns for sure. Then the Nuggets, he was just very good. He's not Jordan. I saw a better comparison where he is / more like Dwayne Wade with the 06
Yeah,
Heat.
that's a comparison I like a lot.
Yeah, I could see that. Fiery, aggressive, doing his thing, talking his thing. But yeah, it's not Jordan. That's disrespectful. You have to give him. He has to do this 6 times. Win 6 goddamn times. Not a single game 6. Not a single game 6.
Dude, he's won like 11 playoff games. Or no,
And the
8
Jordan,
playoff games.
Michael
8 playoff
Jordan,
games,
Michael Jordan, I emoji. Who
not-
knows?
Literally.
So, and I want to pose a question to the group. My dad and I are having this discussion. Now, my dad he's been following basketball since he was young, but I would say more on like the not as intensely as I would say us three are. I wouldn't say he's an abysmal casual, but I'll put him in between somewhere with like casual and average ball fan, kind of in between there. We were talking about who has the greatest handle of all time because we were watching Kyrie, and my initial instinct, my gut,
Kyrie.
it was Kyrie. But then I started thinking logically. Look,
Gobert.
Dude, greatest fadeaway shot of all time. Gobert, Kobe,
Dude, literally.
Kobe last game. Sorry, against the Nuggets. He was Kobe against the Nuggets. But sorry. So more back onto the discussion. Now, I had the same reaction as you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys, why did you guys say it so Kyrie over AI? Over AI. Sorry, over AI. That was the decision. AI over Kyrie. I didn't finish that.
I mean, to be honest, I've watched way more. I mean, do you think in this case, watching highlights is enough to know?
I just don't think so, because there's a lot of just Kyrie's movement with the ball. Like, I saw this one. I watched this one. It was a Luka highlight. Actually, I sent it in the chat. It was a slow-mo version of Luka like getting a steal and throwing it up for Kyrie, and he went for that game-winning lay or something like that. And the ball, just the way he was spinning in Kyrie's hand, he's very artistic with the ball, and that's just
For sure.
him just watching him play like that. It tells you that. So to not be, and I know what you're going to say, Wes, just because, frankly, you've watched more of Kyrie, and I'm 100% with you there. I'm not going to cope and be like, I could concretely say that Kyrie's better. I haven't seen enough AI. But yeah, I was going to say that, like, I think highlights would help, because highlights do show a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
It's
say.
tough to say. That I think it's fair for an old head basketball fan like my dad to be like, I think AI is better, because he watched more of AI than Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I guess that concretely, like, we can concretely say, or I could at least, that Jordan's the GOAT. What do you guys? So now, Thomas, what do you think?
No, Kyrie. Look, AI was quicker as a player, and I think that
I don't even know,
added a
dude.
lot to his
These
handle.
playoffs, Kyrie's been insanely quick.
I just think because of AI, he was shorter and lighter.
Whoa. AI is the quick player. What are you talking about? Shut up. Don't say Kyrie's been insanely quick in this playoffs. Watch AI highlights. He's the quick player.
No, John
There's
Wall's
nobody
quicker.
John Wall might be. John Wall's, I think, probably designed in a lab somewhere, because
John
he's
Wall.
like the freakiest athlete. He's like the freakiest athlete of. I mean, watch John Wall like transition
No,
highlights.
that's speedy.
It's literally impossible to like fathom. Like, there's nobody in the NBA even comes close to it, how quick he is. But in terms of first step, like in a phone booth, right? In the NFL, they always say like, oh, and he has moves that can make somebody miss it, like in a phone booth, like talking about like quick twitch athleticism. AI is that type of athleticism. He's probably the GOAT. And to my point, I think that made AI's handle look a little bit nicer than it was, because it was paired with that quick first step. Now, Kyrie's quick, but the way that Kyrie creates his advantages is so often entirely dependent on his handle. The way that he sets guys up, these little head fakes, shoulder fakes, like chest, like just the way that he moves, like he always is one step ahead of the defender. Like, every single one of his moves feels like it's pre-programmed. Like, he knows exactly what he's going to after he goes to it. He just creates so much space with that handle. I don't think you can really even I mean, I shouldn't say that.
I think you can compare it, but to add to your
that.
argument, but
Kyrie to me is the undisputed GOAT.
And wholeheartedly I agree. Maybe it's because we didn't watch enough of it, but you made one good concrete point. I'm gonna make another concrete point, because this is not like, because I feel like that. You made the speed point. Another thing, Kyrie is doing this 3 inches taller and heavier. So for him, his ball handle is a lot more emphasized, because, like you said, the speed of AI, because he's a lot smaller, he's a lot quicker. So he could do a nice handle, and then boom, he's gone. Kyrie has to focus more on the handle, because he's not as fast as AI, and he's bigger. So I agree. I think us three unanimously agree that Kyrie is the ball handling GOAT. But I don't blame old heads for saying like AI. I don't blame them. I mean,
the reason I kind of understand why they would have a strong feeling for AI is because he's a far better player. Like, as a scorer, he's just, and like the way he can carry an offense. Like in 2001, that final run he went on, that's like, he was like actually insane. I don't know how he did that, but like, Kyrie's obviously like the better handle, I would say, in my opinion. He's just
in a championship team. I'm still taking Kyrie. This could make me take to another discussion.
As a co-star, yeah, but
but the problem is that AI cannot play with other players. He had the same problem like Carmelo. That's why he could never win a chip. He was never able to be a guy like Kyrie who could play with Luka, who could play with LeBron James. AI just physically cannot do that. He's not. And that's a skill. That's an actual skill. And Kyrie was able to do that with 2 insanely ball dominant players, aka LeBron James and Luka. So I agree.
He hasn't won a ring yet with Luka. So
But I mean,
It's not jump the
clearly,
gun.
but no, but he's been
He's
able to
playing
do
well.
it in the regard that they overachieved.
Yeah,
They overachieved. Let's say the season ended right now. They overachieved. AI, if you put AI in the same situation with Luca, I don't think they do as well.
That's
Just
not my point though. My point is just that AI is a better number one option.
Which he is.
agreed.
I'm
But
sorry.
I just don't
it's-
think him being a number one option means much because clearly he didn't do much. That's what my whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think-
I'm just saying that's why I understand why they
I think
might wanna
like if
defend
you're like
defend AI.
in a galaxy, like in a vacuum, yeah, AI is a better player. But in the NBA, I take Kyrie.
the step over, bro.
Time
Sorry,
out.
Kyrie's got nothing like that.
Kyrie's got Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals.
Did he step
Just
over?
saying.
actually,
Steph? No,
Kyrie.
he didn't step over Steph, so it's not.
I take Kyrie in a heartbeat for sure. So
Actually, I very much agree with the Sun. Yeah.
as a
I think
co-star,
yeah,
but
No, but that's the thing. Like, if you're thinking about team building, like I would rather have Kyrie because AI, like, he's not good enough off ball to be a real second
and
option.
defensively,
But-
not that Kyrie's any great.
And defensively, he's not that great. But
yeah,
and I mean, and as a first option, like he had severe limitations. He was very small, so like he was a great finisher for his size, but he was never a truly elite finisher because he would get fucking destroyed at the rim every time he went there. He was a pretty inefficient shooter. He had good seasons from three, but he wasn't like again, Kyrie's probably a better shooter than him. He was one of the greatest of all time in transition, and he was great at like attacking the basket, but he didn't pass a lot. And again, inefficiency, like.
yeah.
He was a very flawed player in like all the ways that you could be flawed in the early 2000s. And I think if he played today, like he would get a lot of shit for the way that he played. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with Hassan in this case. I would personally take
I feel like the
Kyrie
thing
over
you
AI
know,
if we're building
thing to know
a
about
team
AI is that
theoretically.
thing to know about AI is that 2001 is like all he has. So
That's also very,
You know,
it's great.
here's a
but
fun
it's
fact
all he
about AI.
has.
One of only I think 4 players no, sorry, wrong way to say it. He has the highest scoring season of all time, averaging under 40% from the field.
wow.
So that tells you a little something about the way that he played basketball. Not that he wasn't a great, like, because he was a generally great player. Like, he could carry an offense on his back solely, but like that only goes so far.
But he wasn't
You know?
a winning. He was a great player, but not a winning player. I think that's the distinction.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It very much
Yeah.
Carmelo. It's Carmelo syndrome. It's
Yeah, Carmelo
I would
was
say
actually
he's better than
probably
Melo though.
one of the
He's
greatest
better than
players of
Melo.
all time.
but he was a
Melo's
winning
probably
player.
one of the greatest players
So
of
was
all time.
AI.
So was AI and Melo. First of all, I don't know. I look. I don't know enough, so I'm not gonna say a take and then like look stupid about who's better. Off my gut, I would probably say Carmelo. But just because Carmelo was better for a longer time.
Dude, AI also has a feel good story. Like I'm pretty sure there's like an AI documentary. He had some shit going on that's actually
If I were to make like
Sure,
a truly
sure.
like emotional,
so he has more of a feel good story.
But
than
wait, hold
Melo.
on. I have to make this point. Both of them are not winning players, and there's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
more that I despise than a not winning player. Because being a winning player takes lowering your ego, takes accepting that, hey, maybe I'm not the number one guy. And that is a very, very important trait that championship teams that you win rings in.
Yeah.
If Kyrie were to win this season, which could happen now, I was saying there's no chance. I've been against the Mavs since after round 1. Who did they play against in round 1?
Pelicans.
The
No, wait,
Clippers. The Clippers. Barely I saw them beating the Clippers. Then I said OKC's going to eat them. Then I said the Timberwolves are going to eat them. They're proving me wrong. So if they were to win it takes it's a skill to be able to mesh and allow other guys to kill it. And guess who also? The Golden State Warriors. We have that culture. That's why we were able to win with KD. And guess what? KD couldn't do it without us. He formed another super team, Harden and Kyrie. But guess what? He couldn't do it. Now, what does this prove more? Maybe the problem was not as much Kyrie because he could do it with LeBron and Luka. He overachieved with Luka as of right now. Like I said, he hasn't won it yet. But what does that prove? It's not maybe as much as fault as it was as Kyrie's, as it was for Harden and for KD. Harden couldn't mesh. I would say it's.
KD was at least healthy, but
I'm not
anyways,
gonna say who
actually,
is it more. I'm not gonna say who it's more between Harden and KD. But Harden couldn't mesh with Maxey. KD couldn't mesh with Harden and Irving.
Harden and Maxey mesh. They're just a bad combo because neither can play defense. It is what it
I think
is.
Maxi
They're both
thrived. He
Smaller
thrived.
guards who can't
He
play defense.
thrived way more without Harden. That's my point. KD
Well, yeah,
thrived.
because he's had the
KD
ball in his hands 80%
but
of
that's
the
what I'm
time.
trying to say. KD thrived even with the Warriors. Curry thrived even with the Warriors. And they're both extremely ball
KD
dominant
thrived
men.
on the best team of all time, the single greatest assemblage of talent in NBA history.
But it
KD
could have
thrived.
very well
I'm
been
shocked.
that Curry had a significant drop off in his game. Maxey has had a significant bump in his game since Harden left. That's my whole point.
Yeah, of course.
That's my
That
whole
kind of
point.
makes sense.
Exactly that because
I don't take that as a
it's the
Harden
meshing.
diss
But it's
necessarily.
not a Harden diss like directly like, but it's a knock. It's
I mean,
more,
you're just describing the
it's
play
more-
style they have.
it's more of a beautiful. It's more of a pro in like a applaudable trait of the Golden State Warriors because Curry did not have an insane drop off when KD joined.
He dropped off like 5. He had like a 5-point drop off. I think Maxey had like a 5-point
Is that
boost
true?
this year.
Is that true?
Yes, from like 30.
Yeah.
The first year KD
Yeah.
joined, I think he was like he went from 30 to 25, which is about the same bump that Maxey had this year.
Let's-
But again, all you're doing is describing with
It just
like,
makes sense.
KD
Though. It's
is-
not like a
KD
Yeah,
joined
I mean,
in
insane
insane
2017.
indictment on them.
KD joined in 20.
I don't. Yeah, I just. First year KD was on the Warriors was 20.
Okay, yeah,
16
you're
to
right.
17.
You're right.
17,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair. Okay, so then maybe I'll retract the Philadelphia
Okay,
76ers take.
but
But I think as my initial point for the Kyrie the trait, it's a skill, and I'm gonna put less of the blame for the Nets' failure on Kyrie because he's won my heart by showing how well he
Nobody's-
played in the Mavs. And
Nobody's
this was
to
just
blame for the Nets' failure, dude. They just got hurt. What do you want? I mean, there's nothing else to say.
true. That's also valid, but also then like fair. But
Nobody
but,
needs to be blamed. Like this isn't like it's not like this isn't like again. It's not a soap
No,
opera we're talking about. It's just basketball.
okay,
Like nobody needs to be blamed.
I like blaming players.
Like,
though. That's
blamed.
just, I like doing that.
That's kinda
Okay, I
toxic.
guess.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
sure.
toxic.
I guess.
Sure, I mean, sure.
And just
sure it's toxic.
illogical too. But okay.
I mean, sure, it's toxic. I mean, toxic is kind of like
Sometimes there's not someone to
stupid
blame.
term for NBA.
Well, you're
NBA
trying to cause drama.
So is
when there's
blame.
No drama.
Blame.
There's no drama. But
drama.
Like it's a moral
Okay,
failing.
so okay, wait, hold on. So you guys are saying that you don't blame any players for any complications or losing games.
not when
or-
there's no one to blame.
when they
Like, in
play
this case,
badly.
it was just
When they
injury.
play badly. Nobody
Okay.
was playing though. They were hurt.
So what I'm saying is, but this is what my point was that Kyrie has proven he could play alongside other stars. KD and Harden have not. They have not.
KD hasn't.
Outside, and like I said, for
That's-
KD, for
let me-
KD
let me say
outside of
this.
the Warriors. So that's what then I made
Actually,
the
let
other
me-
point. For KD, the Warriors,
So Kyrie outside of the
Okay.
Cavs.
Mavs.
Okay.
And
Whoa,
Mavs.
wait a second. Whoa.
What? So
Well,
that's
who
a
the
stupid
fuck
point,
cares
then.
outside of the Warriors? Who cares outside of the Warriors? He proved it.
Right.
He was
So-
on the best team of all
no,
time.
so
with
that's
other
what I'm
stars.
trying to
It
say.
doesn't matter.
So that's
It
more of
literally
a,
doesn't
that's
matter.
more of a positive for the Golden State Warrior culture and team. It's more the Warriors. It's more.
It can be a
Curry.
positive for
It's more
both. You know
Clay.
that, right?
Bro, the
Sure, it could, but
The
KD
culture-
has
the
culture
KD
being the best
with
team
the
of all
Suns,
time.
With the Suns, he clearly there was a failed super team. This was another super team. The Nets failed
Brother.
super team. So that's my
we
point.
had a
It's
whole
my track
episode
record.
talking about the. We had
The
a whole
roster
issue talk.
construction
We had
of
a
that
whole,
team.
we had a whole episode talking about the bad roster construction of the Suns team.
I
and you were agreeing
agree.
with all that.
I totally agree.
But now you're regressing back, just being like, "Oh, KD's a bum."
No. I never
I
said
mean, what
KD
are
was a
you
bum.
talking-
I never said KD was a bum. So
KD's selfish.
You
KD's
said he
Never
can't
said
play
KD is
alongside
selfish.
I don't-
stars.
like,
I never said KD was selfish, was a bum, was a loser. Never said any.
Can't
of
play
those.
alongside stars,
Like,
though, which he did in Golden State.
Yes. And I said that is more, and I started this whole discussion with saying that's the beauty of the Warriors. Because our track record, see, the Warriors, we were able to bring a guy like KD, who, by the way, the Thunder, he couldn't do it there either. So another place where he had another
what about-
dynamic star with him.
Yeah.
So the Thunder.
What about
the
KD?
Nets,
He was
the
playing
Suns.
alongside Westbrook. He took the 72-win Warriors to 7 games. They were lucky to escape that
He
series.
still lost.
Well, the
Doesn't
Mavs
matter.
haven't won
He
this
couldn't
year.
do
Why,
it.
couldn't-
why are you counting the
He couldn't
Mavs
won.
this year for Kyrie?
Because they overachieved. Then what the
That's
Thunder,
not-
what
That
the
was fucking
Thunder,
The
overachieved
Thunder
for OKC
overachieved.
in
The
2016.
Thunder were
So-
the Thunder
so-
were projected
so
to lose that
the
series in
Thunder-
like 5 games.
the Thunder, he so KD was with the Thunder
Bro,
from
this
what
is
year to what
insane
year?
hating for KD. I don't
No,
even
KD
like
was
KD that much.
KD
Like,
was with the Thunder a lot longer
the
than
lengths you're going to hate KD.
The
Dude, KD gets so
was
much-
with the
dude,
Warriors. KD,
KD,
yeah, I'm
like,
hating on. I agree
deranges
with that.
people.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely hating
People
on KD
like,
for sure.
oh my
But I
god.
still stand by my take that KD with the Thunder, there was many years where they should have like he couldn't win. So that's one. Nets he couldn't win. Suns he couldn't win. So 3 out of 4 teams that
You
he
just don't
was
like
a part of.
context, I guess. You don't like
Of course,
context.
there's context, but there's a theme. One time there's context. Two times there's context. Even three
There's always
times.
context.
Of course,
You don't have to be
context,
selective.
certain- but
100
after a certain
times, there's
time-
still context.
Of
What are
course,
you
there's
talking
context
about?
every situation. But after a certain amount of time, one player
Well, he won with the
has
Warriors.
a track record, and that's a bigger
So-
positive on the Warriors than it is for him because 3 times out of 4 he wasn't able to do it. But with the Warriors, he did it, and that's a more positive for us than for him because 3 times out of 4 when he was not with us, he clearly couldn't do it. I agree, context matters. I agree,
So-
injuries matter. But
So is it like more of a positive for Richard Jefferson that he won with the 2015 Warriors than he didn't win with the Nets? Like, what is? I mean, what do you don't?
no, I
doesn't
agree. I
make any
disagree
sense.
because KD is a leader. He's a star of a team, right? He's part of a super team. That's why that's a stupid point. You know that's a stupid point.
It's not a stupid point at all. Like context matters.
Okay,
KD was on the best team of all time.
Okay, so KD.
We know that. That's why he won. Not
I
because
agree.
of any like mysterious like secret like trait he has where he's not able to play with other players. What can you?
I never said he
What
can't-
about his game
okay,
makes
okay.
him able to play with other players?
Okay, so
What
so-
aspect of his game?
okay, so okay, I'm gonna
Why
circle
does he
back to
struggle
my
playing with other
initial
players?
point. Some players are able to play with other stars besides them, and
Like Kevin
Like
Durant is a
Kyrie,
perfect example.
like
He's gonna be
Kyrie,
the greatest example of
like
all time.
Kyrie, like Curry. No, see that's just a horrible take. That he's the greatest example of that all time. That's just an
He went to
overexaggeration.
the best team. He went to a team that won the most games of any team ever in the regular season and made them better, turned them into the greatest team of all time. That's the perfect example
Instead
of that.
of-
There's no
instead of
better
and
example.
I
example.
think that's
Son,
more
son,
of
actually, here's
I
my
think that's more of a
counterpoint. Here's my
positive.
counterpoint.
Yeah,
Say if it was AI and we introduced AI to that team instead of KD, I don't think that team would have meshed.
I
I'll be
agree.
honest.
I mean,
I agree with
But
that.
KD,
even better counterpoint. How about Carmelo?
I agree.
Try
With that.
introducing
Yeah,
prime
I agree.
Carmelo.
but when
to
they
the
put
team.
in KD, they
When,
flourished.
but see again, when did I say that he cannot mesh as much as that Carmelo and AI could mesh better? Never said that. What I did say though
I'm giving you
is that
examples
some
of
players,
when it wouldn't work.
yeah,
Because I feel like
agree
you
with that.
have the mindset that you could put anyone in and it would work. With KD,
No, I disagree. That's not
Okay,
that's
so-
not a thing at all. I
okay, so
also
KD made it work.
of course to a certain degree he did
He made
too,
it work in
but
the
it's a
best
bigger
possible way.
positive.
Like
It's a bigger positive on Curry, Clay, Dre, and the Warriors itself. The
I mean, you're just saying
franchise.
that. That's
100%. That's
literally you can say anything.
Every person that comes with us becomes a better player. JaVale McGee, Kevin Durant, Harrison Barnes was better with us.
Chris
Actually, I don't know.
Paul.
I mean, at 39 years of age, brother, you know that's a bad take.
You just
know
said
that's
He was
every
better
player.
before. He got worse with us.
You just said every player. What are you
You guys
talking
know
about?
what I'm talking about, right? When a player, you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's not try to just win an argument for the sake of winning an argument. When a player comes, what I mean by that, I mean a player who is still like in his prime, not absurdly old, and is coming earlier on, and he hasn't been playing with Wiggins, JaVale McGee, Kevin Durant. So 3 guys off the top of my head have given you that have become better with the Warriors.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Injuries. That was after his injury. So again, these are gotcha type points, but they're clearly very obviously wrong. Cousins came after a career-ending
He
injury.
did actually. Yeah, he did.
So that's not a good point as well. So back to what
So
I'm
what's
trying
your
to say.
point?
Again,
Then?
like-
KD
Okay,
can or
so
cannot
I'll-
play alongside stars because he can. Can you agree to that? Can you agree to that?
I'll
Can
restate
you
my
agree to
point.
that?
I
That
think
KD can or cannot play with stars.
KD was able to play
Okay.
with us
Doesn't want to admit
because
that.
I think KD was able to play with us more on our team.
So why can't you say it? Why can't you say that he can play alongside stars and flourish?
Let me finish my point.
Why don't you want to say that?
Because he,
I'm
because
gonna
he just
finish
said
my
something
point.
so wrong he can't admit it.
Absolutely not. I
actually
don't think I've said
kinda-
anything
I don't
wrong
want to
in
let you
this
finish
whole
this point.
I'm gonna
You
finish
said
this
KD couldn't
point.
play alongside stars. What's the point of talking with somebody who says something that dumb
Let me
and can't
finish.
admit that
Let
he
me
was just
finish. Let me
wrong?
finish. Let me finish. I'm saying that KD played with us and he made us was a big factor to us becoming one of the greatest teams of all time. However, that's more
God.
that's more on the Warriors than Kevin Durant. Now, and then this comes back to my other points because in 3 other teams that he's went to, quote unquote super teams, especially 2 of them, the Nets and the Suns, have failed miserably. Now, does that mean that he's unable to play with stars at all? I never said that either. This all started with me saying that Kyrie has a
You
skill
did
where he's
say
able
that.
to.
This is
What
recorded.
what did I say?
You explicitly said players that cannot play alongside stars, like Kevin Durant. You said that. That's
I said
verbatim.
KD, I said Harden. And yeah, according to KD's track record, yeah, I wholehheartedly believe that. His track record has
Okay,
proven that he is unable to win.
So now we
and
circle
succeed
back
with-
around to
you
where
can
we
backtrack.
originally.
You
And
just say you
Kyrie
misspoke.
and
You can just say you misspoke.
Just say you
has
were
that
wrong.
skill. Kyrie
God
has that skill.
damn.
Kyrie has that skill where he's able to play with other stars alongside him. Luca, LeBron, two prime examples. He's won my heart back on that. He's
We're not arguing
100%.
that Kyrie can't play alongside
Now,
stars.
and that was my
What
whole
are you
point.
talking about?
What's the
You just
confusion
said KD. It's okay. Just be like, oh, like I misspoke. I said
so, and
KD.
I
that was
mentioned
incorrect.
KD, and I mentioned KD and Harden because they don't have that skill like Kyrie does. By no means do they have the skill like Kyrie does.
KD's won more championships playing alongside this other star than Kyrie has.
And like I said,
Alongside
I answer,
a better star, by the way.
and I
Kyrie
answered
had
the-
seasons
I
alongside
answered-
LeBron, the second greatest
I
player of all time.
answered
And he won
the
less
point
championships in
I answered
6 of
that
those
point
seasons, or
because
5
of-
of those seasons.
because, and this is where we differ. I think it's more on credit for the Golden State Warriors than it is for KD. That was
So
my
does
whole
he
point.
have that skill at all? Playing alongside stars. He
More
can.
than guys like
What is-
AI, more than guys like Carmelo, sure, but compared to like Kyrie, no.
So when you say the Golden State Warriors, you're talking about like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who are stars, right? That's what you mean?
Wait, what do you mean? In what context? What I mean in what?
Are they stars or not? What do you mean context?
When-
Would you
when-
agree that
oh,
Klay
in
Thompson and Steph
2019,
Curry are stars?
Dre, Steph, Clay, absolutely, they were stars.
They're all stars. Like 2016, 2019, they're all stars. So KD's
Up
playing
until
alongside 3
2022?
stars.
Absolutely,
Up until so they're playing alongside 3 stars. KD
Absolutely.
was. He was playing alongside
Yeah.
3 stars.
absolutely.
And that team then won 2 championships and was pretty inarguably the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. More of that
But
that
KD is
credit is to the Warriors.
KD
More of
is
that
an
credit is to the
example of a
Warriors.
player who
because the
can't play
Warriors have a
alongside
credit.
stars.
Okay, so I think you
Because
misspoke and
Warriors
you're scared to go back on it. Now you're just like,
No. I
It's
It's
still
not even
don't.
scared.
I
It's
still,
just
I still don't.
he's just the most
I don't
stubborn
think KD
person in the
can win.
world, and he
I don't
hates
think
losing
KD
arguments.
I don't think KD is a good player along stars because the Warriors are a unique case. They're the greatest team culture of all time. We had the best. We had a great front management.
So-
we make players better
so
when they
maybe
come
it
with
really-
us. We're able to gel every player that comes with us. And I gave example of that: JaVale McGee, Andrew Wiggins, KD. So
Yeah, I
but
mean,
outside of us,
Those are all great examples. Like okay, but like so you do understand like this is because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are both off-ball superstars who are the 2 greatest shooters of all time. That's
Sure.
why they're uniquely like gifted at playing alongside other stars.
so it's like that.
It has nothing to do
proves
with
my point.
team culture.
I also think team
That's the
culture
way
is a
that they
factor
play
because
basketball.
if there's a trend where players come in that have been struggling,
Yeah, there is a trend. They're the greatest shooters of all time. They can play off ball. That has nothing to do with team culture. Draymond Green, he's a guy who his entire offensive game is based
that's
around playmaking entirely. That's all he does.
Sure. I agree. But team culture in the regard that, for example, this was like Draymond, Curry, they reached out to KD. They said, look, dude, you could be the guy. You could be the guy. Curry said this. You could win the MVP. It's all you. It's your team. That's team culture, right? Bob Myers, Steve Kerr. That's where team culture comes in. Now, I don't know. I don't understand. Are
Wanting
you
to
saying
win
that?
is not. I
Are you
don't know
trying-
about
Not wanting to win. A lot of players have ego.
every
Carmelo,
single team in the NBA wanted Kevin
ego.
Durant.
Carmelo couldn't share the ball with Jeremy Lin.
Carmelo would have killed to play alongside any star like that. Sure, would he have had his issues with him? Yeah,
Exactly.
because that's how he
That's
played
my whole
basketball.
point.
Because he was 2
So
ball dominant.
Exactly. So
That has nothing to do
their
with
culture
team
has to
culture.
do-
That's the
of
way that
course
they
there's-
play
because
the game of basketball.
because players like Curry, Clay, Drake, they were able to lower their ego, let this other guy come in who was their rival, took them to 7, and they were able to play with them. I agree. That's not the biggest factor. I agree. The bigger factor is what you said. They're the greatest off-ball players of all time. But that's still credit to the Warriors. That's still credit to Curry, Clay, and Drake.
I mean, it is credit to them, but it's also credit to KD, who came in and
And
not
just
only
played,
elevated
did
the team,
and-
but also
and just
elevated
did his thing.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah, he did his thing.
And played like a
not
good player,
only
which
did
he
his
is
thing,
a
he
good
did it
player. I have never said once
Yeah,
that
he
he's
did
not a good player.
at the highest
The
highest
Warriors-
level in the playoffs.
The Warriors gave him the keys
Alongside
that allowed
other
him to do that.
stars.
When did the problem start coming? The 3rd season, when they started trying to kind of tell him, okay, pass the ball a little bit more, stop taking bad shots. The Grizzlies game where Curry had the ball, Curry wanted to finish KD called for it. Curry visibly frustrated, gave him the ball. Draymond was pissed at him, yelling back and forth. That was the complication. Then slowly you started to see that these
Yeah,
ego
sure.
issues started to creep in. So the first 2 seasons,
That was after 2 of the greatest seasons of basketball
Exactly.
of all time.
and why? Because Curry, Clay, these guys really kind of let their guard down. They said, "All right, you are the number 1 option. Go ahead."
So that seems to be proof positive that KD can in fact play alongside other stars, because when they did that, he then proceeded to play the best basketball of his career.
Again,
Alongside
I've
other
repeated this
stars.
maybe 5-6 times. I never denied that he played well with us. I'm saying it's more credit to the Warriors than him. And you
What
have
do you
not
mean
been
it's
able to
more?
disprove that at all. And you could be
He
shocked.
played-
You could be
What
confused.
do you mean credit
That
to
doesn't
him? What do you
prove-
mean credit to him?
That doesn't. What do I mean?
He
Credit?
played good
Credit.
basketball. That's the
Credit.
credit to him. You said it yourself. Oh, he just played like a good player. Yeah,
But
he did.
more. But it's bigger.
How does
credit
he
to
not
the
get credit
Warriors.
for that?
It's bigger credit. I said bigger. I didn't say he doesn't get any credit. Never said that once.
why would it be bigger credit for the Warriors? His performance. He was a Warrior. What do you
why?
mean? Credit
Why
to
would
the
we give
Warriors?
war? Why would okay? Okay, so now we're playing like splitting hairs terminology. Okay, what do I mean by the
We're
Warriors?
playing the
I
splitting hair
mean
game. You literally said you couldn't
non-KD
play alongside stars.
I mean the
And then
non-KD
you
Warriors.
immediately
I
changed
mean
your
the non.
point.
No, I never changed my point.
I don't think
I
our
said,
viewers are enjoying
I-
this debate.
I
It's going
think-
nowhere.
I
We're going in
doubt I
circles
are.
right
We
This
can
is
end
now.
it, we can
I
end it.
cannot let this go.
No, not Andy. I just want to do trivia, bro.
We'll do that eventually, but no, this is good. I like having discourse. That's what basketball is. You don't have to scare away from discourse just because it's back and forth. I think that more
Well,
credit
you
is
said
the Warriors.
something and
As
More
kind of
credit to the
retracted
Warriors.
what you said. So
More, I never retracted it. I think the Warriors are
Yeah,
more
you
credit.
never admit that either.
More
So
Warriors.
he's just
okay, Tom,
Thomas
this is
asked me a
the-
question. Wait,
this is
Thomas
the-
asked
He'll
me
go
a
in
the
question.
circles until I
Thomas
give up.
asked me a
He'll go in
question.
circles until I give up, so I'm not giving up.
Thomas asked a
I'll
question.
go.
okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
This is really funny. I'm
Son,
not involved.
You will say the sentence, KD can
Okay.
play alongside other stars before this
So,
episode ends. You will say that
I have
sentence.
no ego involvements whatsoever. This is a personal. Thomas is taking this as a personal attack, and that's fine. I'm all right with that.
I never
So
take
I'm gonna
anything
I'm gonna
personal.
take I'm gonna answer his question where he said, what does it mean that more credit is given to the Warriors? Okay, I'm gonna answer that. So the Warriors, what I mean by the Warriors? He said, what do you mean Warriors?
You
KD
already
is the
said
Warriors.
this.
I'm gonna answer this too.
You already
What
said
I
this.
mean
He
by the
was a
Warriors-
Warrior.
I'm gonna answer this. So the
He
Warriors,
integrated into
by
team
what I
culture
mean,
perfectly.
Warriors is the Warriors that I'm referring to are non-KD players. So more credit is to,
He,
and I'll specify more credit is to Clay, Steph, Dre. Okay, these three players, then KD. More credit is given to them because all three of them, like you said, were able to take like Curry's a prime example. He was able to take a 5-point per game drop to allow KD to thrive more. That is a big deal. Not every star is willing or able to do that. Okay, Clay, he doesn't have much ball dominance in general, but these guys were allowing him to thrive. They took a step down in their role. They just came off of a 73-9 season where they were the top guys. They were the number one guys, and they let KD come and become the number one guy. So that's what I mean by more credit is due to the Warriors.
it's insane because you're making me argue like this is something I try so hard not to do, but you're making me argue like against the Warriors. Like, brother, they were desperate. They had just suffered the most embarrassing loss, and as you've said many times, the most impressive series win of all time for LeBron.
Yeah,
The most
absolutely.
embarrassing loss of all time for any season. They were desperate. They were doing anything in their power.
Yeah.
To get themselves back to the championship and
Yeah.
get themselves a win, a chip, because they needed it desperately.
Yeah.
That is why they were willing. It had nothing to do with some unique, like, culture, like virtue that they had. It was out of desperation. They needed KD to come in and guarantee them a championship.
Okay, and I'll answer
Draymond
that
called
too.
him in the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Okay.
He
I'll
called him in
answer
the
that.
parking
I
lot
know,
and
I
said,
understand.
please come
Okay,
to the Warriors.
Great. I'll answer that point.
And Kevin Durant has gotten so much shit for it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
because he answered the call and said, sure, I'll come in there and ball out like you want me to.
Okay. Again, this doesn't address anything that I'm basically saying about the Warriors getting more credit because calling someone, talk is cheap. A lot of super teams have been formed, but they fail because the pieces don't mesh. Now, there are more pieces at the Warriors. There's 3 of the Warriors, Dre, Clay, Steph, and there's 1 of KD. So for 3 to mesh with 1 is more difficult than 1 to mesh with 3. Right? So that's why there's more credit given to the Warriors. I will not take that back for
They're
sure.
all still individuals.
Exactly. And for those 3
Each one of them had to individually.
Exactly. And those 3 individuals, I agree. That doesn't disprove my point whatsoever. I don't understand what that point is. Of course, the 3 individuals.
So you're combining the credit
You're
that
saying-
each of them get compared to KD's.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. Because you're
Correct.
comparing these
Okay.
3
Correct.
people to one.
Correct.
And you're
Okay.
saying
The
that
Warriors. The
you
Warriors.
set the terms of the
Yes.
debate.
And
You
the
set
second
terms
thing
of
I'm going to
debate.
say, and the second
And
thing I'm
then
going to
said that
say,
because of
the
those
second thing I'm
terms,
going to say
you
is that you said that we needed KD.
You have to be right.
2022 proves that we didn't need him. He needed us more than we needed him. 2022 proves.
This is why I hate these kind of debates. I'm talking not about like in terms of team composition any of that. I'm saying in terms of the actions of people. Draymond Green acted like he needed KD by calling him. The Warriors acted like they needed him by all welcoming with open arms and letting him be the man.
But talk is cheap. When you're forming super teams, when these guys are forming super teams,
You know
when
the
Clippers
biggest
formed
failed
a
super team?
when the Clippers
What is the
formed a
biggest failed super team?
When the Clippers formed a super team and they're doing their thing, you don't think they're also talking, discussing, and man, we got to do this. They want each other. They need each other. Talk is cheap. There's a reason why there are more failed super teams in this era.
Because Kawhi got injured every playoffs. That's all that is.
Sure, but I'm talking about in general. You can look at a lot of super teams that fail. There's a reason. We were able to win because these guys were able to walk the walk. They were able to walk the walk. They were able to let him be the number one guy. And that's more credit to them than KD. That's more credit to them to the Kevin
biggest
Durant.
failed
Because
super
Kevin
team of
Durant
all
didn't
time.
change anything. He didn't change anything fundamentally. He just came here and just
He
did
played
his
way
thing.
more off ball. He played way more off ball. He stopped playing iso ball. He was spotting up for threes. He was
He
cutting.
was still the
He
number
was
one guy.
catching
He was still the
lobs.
quote unquote number one guy. They let him still be the number one guy. Curry did not force himself to still be the number one guy.
Nobody ever came out in an interview and said KD's number one guy now. They let him score more points.
Exactly. And that dude, that's a decision though. That's a team decision. Letting someone be the
Not
guy
necessarily.
is a team
He's
absolutely.
playing on the court.
No.
He
See,
took
now
a lot
you're
of
just
shots
saying
and
that
he
they
made a lot of them.
Now you're saying something that's just more wrong. You're getting more and more wrong. Did they just happen to let KD become the number one guy? No, that's what Dre told him. That's what you guys told him. You'll be the number one guy. We'll let you be the number one guy. So talk is
That's how
cheap.
they play on the court. But number one is like it's a fictitious thing. It's like you assign that to players. Like it's not like there's no
You
like
give-
roster spot. It's like like the number one option, number two option, number three option.
Okay,
Like
if
he was
how
on
about
the
this?
court.
I'll
He was
be
shooting
willing.
and scoring
I'll
more.
be willing to take my take back if we look at the usage rates for the first two seasons. KD had the most usage rate.
He was of course.
So usage rate, letting someone get the ball more is a team decision. That's a tactical decision. Saying that
because that's
a
what was
tactical
working
decision.
the most for that offense. He was the most efficient scorer in the league those seasons.
I agree that
I mean, what do you want to do? Not give him the ball?
Exactly. That's
By the way,
what I'm
let me
trying
get
to
this
say.
one last point out.
There's
I
a
need to
lot of
say this.
teams that could not have done the same, executed the same thing because the stars would have had ego issues. They would have had problems like, hey, I want to be the guy too. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a skill. Curry, Clay, Dre have this skill. Kyrie has this skill. These guys are able to mesh well with guys who are superstars. KD, other than the Warriors, has not been able to prove that. Nets, Suns,
KD's taken the second most shots to Booker these last two seasons. He's let Booker be the number one guy.
but
Happily.
that hasn't worked. They haven't been able to win.
Yeah,
right?
because
That's
Devin
roster
Booker's not
construction
Stephen Curry.
problems. Yeah, that's
Because
roster
Devin Booker's not
construction
Stephen
problems.
Curry.
Right, but a
Because Aaron
factor.
Gordon's not
Okay,
Klay Thompson.
okay. Now I have to make it.
Because Bismack
I have to
Biyombo's not
explain.
Draymond Green.
I have to explain another very simple concept. When these superstars form super teams, they are forming it themselves. It's not like KD happened to get traded to the Suns and they just happened to the cookie happened to crumble that way. He has a factor and a hand in it. I disagree with that. I think KD had a hand.
Their
These
new
superstars
owner, do you
have
not
a
remember
hand.
this? Matt Nishiba, their new owner, went out of his way to make that trade, even though a lot of people didn't. They thought it was probably a bad
KD wanted
decision
to go to
because
the
he was so old.
Suns. KD wanted to go to the Suns.
I think he wanted out of Brooklyn, but I don't know if he wanted to go to
He
Suns.
wanted
He
to
wanted
go
out
to
of
the
Brooklyn.
Suns.
He didn't.
He
He
wanted
wanted
to
out
go
of
to the
Brooklyn. He
Suns.
didn't specifically want the Suns.
He specifically
went
wanted the
after him.
Suns. So when a superstar
Can you
forms a
find an
super
article?
team,
Let me see.
when a super
Did KD
team,
want?
when a super team, okay, but even when a super team is formed, the stars have a hand in it. In the Nets, the stars had a hand in it. Harden, Kyrie, KD. Because if they don't please the stars are going to want out. So the team composition, the team, whatever, everything, the stars have a hand in it. And that's my whole take. Outside of the Warriors, KD has not been able to win and play well and play winning basketball other than the Warriors. And that's more credit to the Warriors, not KD. That's been my whole point. No one has changed my mind up to this point. There's been a lot of personal anger, a lot of personal frustration, and that's okay. I didn't feel that whatsoever. This was a debate. This was a wholehearted debate. And I didn't just get
By the way, one last point.
Time.
I've been trying to say this 100 times. I've been interrupted. Biggest failed super team of all time, or not? It succeeded in the end, but the biggest failed season for super team of all time. LeBron's first season with the Heat. Why? Was it because the guys around him failed? No, it was because LeBron personally faltered in those playoffs, especially in those finals.
Yeah.
KD never had that. He went to the Warriors. He showed up the first season he was there. He put in his best playoff performance of his entire career.
And that's why he's a great player. He's a great player. But
A
like
great
I said,
player alongside other stars.
more credit is to the
Facts.
Warriors. The more credit is to the Warriors.
Okay, son, I feel
More
like
credit is to the Warriors. Like I've said a billion times, because
Son,
they
you
took
do
a
remember
whole
how
cut.
this whole debate started,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
It was,
And I still stand by the decision.
It was my personal frustration with you saying that KD can't play alongside other stars. Something which you
which is like a
kind of just
cut and
refused to-
dry.
It's
It's
an
like a cut and dry
objective.
statement to say.
I
It's just
think more
objectively
credit
wrong. You
is
said
given
that.
to.
And
I
okay,
get-
well,
I-
that's the
the
end.
more
Okay,
credit is
so
given
it's
to
over.
Let me speak.
It's
real-
over.
let me speak
Okay,
real
we
quick.
have to go now. It's looping back around.
Good.
That's
Let me
it
say
has
one
to be
last
over.
thing.
All right. Nice. Great.
Let me
So
say
we get-
no.
yeah,
It's on.
sure,
It's
go
on.
ahead.
Be
Go ahead,
quiet
go
real quick. I feel like you're splitting hairs when you say, "Oh, Warriors get more
Yes.
credit." KD
But
gets
like,
less
what are you
credit.
gonna do?
Because like no matter who gets like 50% amount of credit, 40% amount of credit, KD does get credit for playing alongside stars, even if it's like 2%, 10%, whatnot. How
Sure.
much percent would you give him?
Sure.
He still played alongside stars successfully. That's
Sure.
the only point I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to say, oh, KD gets 70% of the credit, Warriors only get 30%. I'm not trying to give
Exactly.
a percentage of the
Like,
credit
you
to
just-
KD.
I think
I'm just saying KD
in
can.
an overwhelming
even in
amount
Brooklyn,
of his
even if-
in
oh,
an,
no,
an, o- an
finished, bro.
overwhelming amount of his career
Alright.
has shown that he cannot.
Facts.
3 out of 4
Just
times.
interrupt.
3 out of 4 times. It's been an overwhelming amount.
I was gonna say 2 out of 4 because even in Brooklyn, that was a successful super team. They were meshing well in the playoffs. What only cut them short was injuries. So, and
Yeah,
it was
they got
meshing well.
hurt.
Was it not meshing well or not? It was.
I think no. I don't think so. They weren't able to
Fine.
win. They weren't able to win.
What you mean to say is you don't remember that playoffs?
No, they weren't able to win.
They got
But
hurt.
they were meshing well. They were meshing well. They just got hurt.
Yeah,
Okay,
they were playing
but-
great alongside each other.
They were the title
I mean,
favorites.
Great is winning. Great is winning.
Yeah, they were winning. They won consistently until they both got hurt leading up to that. What's it called? What's that team?
I mean, then
Bucks
but
They
that's the
were
thing.
winning
And then we
consistently.
never know that. So it's
Hassan,
just
I'm
one
not
shows us
even-
we never know. I
Hassan,
still
I'm
think
not even
majority of the teams that KD has went
I'm not
to,
even
he
saying the
hasn't been
Nets
able to
would
win.
definitely. I'm not even saying the Nets would win even if they were healthy, although they were the favorites. I'm just saying they were a winning basketball team. They were contenders that year, and KD was playing alongside 2 stars.
Winning
Kyrie
a
and
ring.
James
Winning a
Harden.
ring. That's all that matters. It's a failed season if they don't win a ring. It's a failed season.
Hassan, you're just coping now. You're just coping now.
You could say that. You could say that, but
I
I don't think I am. We can agree to disagree. That's the beauty of
We
subjectivity.
can.
Yeah, there's no
You could argue
point
with
then.
this honest, like, one of those like punching dummies that are built to like bounce back up when you punch them. It's like you can't win.
That,
You just
that's
boom,
fair.
you hit him with your best
That's
shot. Boom.
I mean,
Right,
that
that's fair.
Brooklyn is a gotcha.
never
That
happened.
Brooklyn is a gotcha, and then he just
That's
the ring
fair.
is the only
It's
thing
like,
that
no,
matters.
it
No
didn't happen.
context.
That's
I
Do
fair.
you
disagree.
care about context or no context?
Totally fair.
'Cause
I
injuries is
think this is a
context.
good point to end the discussion because we've just been going in circles the last hour, and it's fine. Thomas, just for the record, Thomas said I'm never gonna admit it, but he did. So hey, that's a gotcha for me. No worries. We're
Wait,
gonna
never
end it right
gonna
here.
admit what?
You said I'm
I'm
not gonna
confused.
stop the discussion. I'm gonna get it out of him, but you didn't get it out of me. So it's,
Yeah, I
it's a
mean,
plus for me. So
I
that's
have
a
to
good
admit
end.
You would never
It's a
admit
good. It's a good end.
You would
to
never admit it.
this section of debate. Got a little bit personal. Wes and Thomas took a little bit personal, but it's okay. That's the beauty of subjectivity in basketball. You disagree, you debate. You guys didn't change my mind. I didn't change your mind, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Well, you're
We're
never
gonna-
going to change your mind, so yeah.
We're gonna transition now to some trivia.
Live
All right.
on Twitch.
Are we? Are you recording?
Live on
Yeah.
Twitch.
All right. Future editor, edit from.
Yo, what's good, chat?
Edit it from here. You may be confused because we're currently in a different video. And the reason that happens is because our passionate debate that boiled over to just us running around in circles, which we're all good, by the way. Hey, how about everyone say, we're good, just to let the crowd know?
We're not good. No, I'm just kidding. We're good.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm so pissed.
We're pissed. The funny thing for the fans at home, you may think like, wow, this is what is this? That's just how we roll. Honestly, you'll see how a lot of our personal discussions and debates, we get passionate, we get heated, but the beauty is that we're able to come back really quickly, and that's what we exhibited right now. So it's still the same day, same video, same Zoom session, but we're gonna start with some Pirtle. I think so Wes had said as a joke before the video started, Grayson Allen. So I think why don't we do that? Grayson Allen. We all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is so scared right now.
Ooh.
Okay. So
Wow,
Western Conference.
Wes, you cheated.
Western Conference, number 8. That's actually,
Oh.
I
Wes, you
mean,
cheated.
6'5", 6'6", in the Western Conference.
Dude, I'm
Younger
thinking.
than 28, number 8. Kobe.
You know, sometimes they do like a current player in the playoffs, or like so maybe someone on the Timberwolves, or dang,
Who's
is
number
Nikhil
8 on
Alexander
the?
Walker?
What number is Nas Reed? No, but the height doesn't make sense.
Yeah. 6'5", 6'6".
Alexander
Alexander
Walker.
That's a good guess. Is
Yeah, I was
he
thinking
8?
Alexander Walker.
But I feel like he's 6'4", no?
Yeah, that's what I feel like he's. I mean,
I would guess
6'6".
6'5" or 6'6", honestly.
yeah.
Okay,
so
let's try it.
go.
Nick.
He's tall for a
Nikhil-
guard.
First option too.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
We got the height on the dot. The age, the number was 9, though. Actually, we were wrong about that.
Okay.
But we got the division, too.
Just no
Sick.
player number, except for a couple. I don't know player numbers well enough.
Okay. So
Yeah, me neither.
okay.
That's why
So
I was
let's
trying
talk
to
about what we
lucky
know.
guess.
So we know 6-5. We know 23-24. We know Northwest Division. Wes, you're the division guy.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
it?
it's the other four teams are Portland, Portland, Jazz, Nuggets.
Okay.
What's the fourth
We're
one? I
missing
want to say
one.
OKC.
Grizzlies.
OKC.
Oh yeah, OKC.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
How tall is Josh Giddey?
6'6", I think.
Oh, also he's not. His
I'm
number
pretty
doesn't
confident.
match. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is number 8 on? So the okay.
Six
Hopefully it's not.
five.
Hopefully it's not the. It's not.
Scoot. It's Scoot. No, wait, no, it's not. It's not.
Scoot's like
Yeah.
6'1".
Age.
It's at
Also
guard. It's
age.
at guard.
Yeah. Oh, it's also
Wait, isn't
it's a forward. For sure,
Yeah.
it's
I
a,
thought
it's
Scoot
a,
was number 8 for a second, but yeah,
but also the age doesn't make sense for Scoot.
yeah.
So it's for sure a forward that plays for Portland, Jazz, Nuggets, Thunder. MPJ. What number is MPJ?
He's too tall, 6'10".
Yeah.
He's
Oh my
6'11". He's
God, he's
he's
6'11".
6'11", yeah.
What the hell?
He's 6'10", 6'11", one of those two.
Yeah, yeah.
My
He's insanely
goodness.
tall.
He's like if KP was an elite shooter like MPJ. He's like what KP was supposed to be.
No, what?
KP's better though, at least.
Dude, KP was like a.
Like as a shooter. I
KP
guess
came
not
into the league.
before
He
that,
was like a.
but-
All right, it was a
I mean,
bad
okay,
take. I
you know,
apologize.
whatever.
I'll just apologize.
Whatever.
You know what,
whatever,
guys?
whatever.
I'll
It doesn't matter.
apologize.
It doesn't matter.
I'll
It doesn't matter.
apologize.
It
Oh
doesn't
my
matter.
God! Oh my God!
It doesn't matter.
That was a bad take. Casual take. I'm gonna retract that in a second. Okay, so back to this. So we have Portland, Jazz, Nuggets, Thunder. Well, how old is Jeremy Grant? I think he's too old.
Jazz, I'm
He's
sure.
too old. Yeah.
Number 8 on the Jazz. I'm envisioning the
Fuck,
jersey. I just can't.
How old is Omar Yurtseven? No, Yurtseven is too.
Yeah, he's too tall. I feel.
I think he's a forward. He's probably too tall though.
The Nuggets.
Mm.
Who are some the big like the forwards for the Nuggets? Like MPJ. There's
Would also
Aaron.
be a young guy.
Oh, Aaron
But
Gordon.
Peyton Watson's probably too tall.
28, and he's
And
also
too
too
old,
tall.
yeah.
And too tall. Yeah. Okay, how about let's try to narrow down the team. So I have a feeling it's probably gonna be it's gonna be for the Blazers or the Jazz.
Yeah, just because young teams. But
Yeah.
Um,
So we could do
who's
something that's
the?
obviously
what
wrong.
about Aaron? How tall is Aaron Wiggins?
Ooh, that's a good
What-
one.
I guess we
'Cause they're
might as
young
well
too,
try
actually.
that. I
So,
can't think of what team does Aaron Wiggins
That's
play for?
OKC.
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 All right, you guys want to try it?
I mean, yeah, he might be 6'6". I can see 6'5" though. Let's see.
Beautiful. We got the
Oh,
team.
okay.
Oh, he's 6'6". Okay.
Wait, what number is J
Oh,
Dub?
he's also 25.
I think
Is
it's
J-Dub
J-Dub.
too tall? Oh, it's J-Dub. Yeah, no, he's
It
6'5".
literally is J Dub, no?
Is J-Dub 8? No, isn't J-Dub a guard? J-Dub's a guard, right?
Oh, you're
Isn't he
right. He's right.
two
You're right.
guard?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. What about Lou
Oh,
Dort?
wait, is he?
No, Dort's too old. I feel it. He's been here since the bubble. But that's
He
4
has, yeah.
years.
But I mean, he could be 24 still. 21
He
plus
could be
8,
actually. That's not insane, actually.
and he's a forward. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6".
We have a bunch of guesses, so I mean, it doesn't
You
hurt. I mean, I
guys
don't
want
want to.
Dort, my man Dort?
Yeah, Dort. Yeah,
It could be
I like
obviously
that.
wrong. It could be obviously wrong.
Numbers Dort.
Actually, I'm trying to think
I wish
of
I
his
knew numbers
number.
better. That would make it so easy.
Dude, actually, Dort is
Yeah,
not number
yeah.
8. Dort is definitely not number 8. I feel
You
oddly
sure?
confident about that. I don't see. I
Wes was
I don't know.
confident about something one time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Okay, maybe
You
let's
wanna
leave
pull
that for
a-
the
I'm just
last
saying.
guess. Maybe
Pull up what's his name?
Okay,
The
okay.
white guy.
because I feel
I
oddly
mean, if we know
confident
it's
that
OKC, it can't be that hard.
okay, let's just list. They have 15 players. So
Yeah,
Shea, and the rest of the nobody. Shea, J Dub, J Will, Chet,
Aaron
pedophile,
Pedophile, yeah.
Aaron Wiggins.
Is it the pedophile? Could it be the
No.
pedophile?
He's too tall.
He could maybe he's 6'5". I mean, I'm not gonna say that confidently. Like,
I would think he's too
I'm
short.
guessing he's 6'6".
Dude, I actually
What?
feel like
Okay.
that's his number. I think that's his number. I could see Giddy on number 8. For some reason, I have a weird
then
thing. But I could be.
Okay, then try it. Yeah, yeah.
No, actually, I don't think Giddy is 8, dude.
Bro,
Yeah, I
give
was
us more because
racing the
Giddy's
categories.
younger.
Yeah.
Give
I
us
think
more
I think
information
I
about
think
the
number
age.
I think number 8 is a black guy. I feel like I see number 8 on a black player.
I mean, could it be J Dub? Could it be Dort? It's Dort, bro. I think it's Dort.
We have like 5 more guesses. Let's
Okay,
just
let's try
Try
door.
it.
Let's
Try
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 door.
try
door.
one. Yeah.
So I
Wow,
was
Dort's too
right about the
short, and he's a
number,
guard.
Dude, I
and
got
he's too
all the-
Maybe
short.
it's J Dub.
Wow, J Dub
Because if
Yeah.
he's
is he a
listed as a
forward?
guard, yeah, if he's listed as a guard, then J Dub's probably listed as the small forward, right?
Yeah, actually that makes more sense. Okay, bro. Type in his nickname.
But put in
Jalen, not
Oh
the
my
other
God.
one.
J-A.
L.
Yeah.
Where is it? Jalen
W.
Williams, right? Right here.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
down there at the bottom.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wanna see it?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay,
He's
so
23, yeah.
okay, yeah. He's 23. Oh,
So
yeah.
he's a forward?
That's kind
I
of
always thought of him as a two guard.
yeah. I also
Yeah, same.
To be fair though,
That
like
makes sense. I guess if Dort is
kind
their
of makes
shooting
sense because
guard.
Shay's also kind of tall for a guard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Good. That was good though. That was good. Actually, that was a good run. All right, now we're gonna transition over to a little bit of tic-tac-toe.
Okay, I forgot what this game is called. I don't know how you're gonna look it up.
It's just like grid.
It's called Immaculate Grid.
Oh yeah.
Hoop grids. Oh yeah.
So
Wait,
we
so
could do we could do just like winner goes on, and whoever wins like 2 games in a row first is like the champ, I guess.
Okay.
No,
And I think
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry, for this one, the way we did it is there's a time limit, right? When you're trying to get the tic tac toe.
Yes,
So
I'm
that
gonna.
way
So
time drags on?
the ref will have a stopwatch. Yeah.
Okay.
So you two could start first. I'm gonna have the stopwatch here. We want to have a minute, right? Or do we want to have 30 seconds?
Ooh.
I would give us a minute.
I think how about 45
Yeah.
seconds? Okay, fine,
Sure.
5 minutes. Fine, we can
Okay,
do,
fair.
Okay,
40,
okay, so we're gonna start with you
45
two,
sounds about right.
and I have to annotate it. So let me get the annotation thing right.
Can you get a coin flip for
I
who
could do that.
starts?
I could do that as well. Ooh, there you go. Finally, he's here.
Is that
Okay.
Damn, Van Gogh. We got Van Gogh in the chat.
Yes, Zerski. Ooh, wait. Okay, so one second. Give it a second. It's like lagging a little bit. Does that look good for a square?
Good enough, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, a square? What do you mean?
It's a square. Oh, it's an
It's a
X.
rectangle.
I
Bro,
forgot it's an X.
X,
I'm an idiot.
brother,
I'm an
come
idiot.
on.
I'm an
I
idiot.
don't know the tic tac toe rules.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay. I'm just gonna stick to drawing. It's fine. Oops.
Stick to what you're good at.
Stick to what I'm good at. Yes, sir. We're gonna pen. There you go. Okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna use white. So give me a second. Where's the goddamn code? Oh, there it is. White. Perfect. Okay. And I'm gonna do W and T for your guys' names. Hello,
We're
can you guys
gonna be a lot of W's.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're gonna start.
Hopefully.
Okay. Future editor, cut it from here. All right, we're back with some immaculate grid. Today's grid looks like the following. We have the Hawks, the Nuggets, and 20,000 career points on the top. Then we have the Nets, the Magic, and then the Jazz on the left. So the two players are going to be Thomas and West for this round, and the next round will be me and the winner. So first things first, we're going to start with heads and tails. Who chooses heads?
I'll choose.
I'll take heads.
All right.
All right. Heads is Thomas.
Okay.
Tails is Wes. Hey, Siri. Flip a coin. Siri ignored me. Hey, Siri. Flip a coin. Wow, it ignored me twice. I'm just going to go to Google and do flip a coin.
I feel like I never use Hey Siri.
All right. It's flipping, and the answer is tails. I'm going to put it
Wow,
right
that's
here.
some real bullshit. Jesus Christ. So rigged.
That's good, dude. Thomas, I was about to pick heads and then you interrupted me. So yeah.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that's crazy, dude. Wow, so this game already doesn't count.
Yes, sir. So that dub for West. And just a reminder to the fans at home, how this game works is basically the players have to like it's just tic-tac-toe. Each segment that they want to fill, they have to answer the question, and then they'll get like their name initial put there. And then it's basic tic-tac-toe rules. You get like
Ooh.
three in a diagonal, across, or vertically, you win. You get 45 seconds, and the stopwatch person is the ref, aka me. Let's get started, gentlemen. Good game, no foul play. Wes. Ooh, I just doxed you. You could, you can bleep that. Thomas, can you bleep that?
Yeah, yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So we're gonna bleep. I accidentally doxed my fellow co-host. Wes, take it away. Timer starts now.
All right, I'll go Aaron Gordon for the middle. Magic and Nuggets.
Okay.
Shout out.
Magic,
Got to get the easy one.
Magic and Nuggets. We're gonna go Aaron Gordon, and we're gonna put W for Wes. Thomas, timer starts.
Okay, top left corner, I'm gonna go Dennis Schroeder.
Nice. All right. And for the fans at home, say like the Nets and the Hawks. You gotta talk them through it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nets and the Hawks.
All right, Wes, timer starts.
I'm gonna go Hawks and Jazz, John Collins.
Ooh,
Trying to think
good
of a
stuff.
Nets 2000.
All
Oh,
right, Thomas. Notoriously not good at
Wow.
tic-tac-toe, by the way.
For the Nets and 20,000 points, I have to admit, I don't have anybody off the top of my head. 'Cause it's the Nets.
Wow.
Is it anybody who played there for their entire career? Like, it doesn't mean they scored 20,000 points with the Nets, right?
It's just anyone, I think.
Okay, so then Vince Carter.
Nice.
yeah, yeah, probably.
He
Yeah.
certainly didn't score
Never
20,000
had
points
one.
with the Nets, but he did score 20,000 points and play for the Nets.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess just to double check, I could type Vince to see if it
Yeah.
works. Yeah, that works. So
You got to, no, yeah, you got to select him.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm gonna just put like squiggle it out.
Yeah,
And for the fans at home, I'm gonna put
greatest dunker of all time.
all right. Now,
Facts.
Wes, go ahead. Timer starts.
Let's see. Nuggets, Nets. Oh, DeAndre Jordan for Nuts net.
Wow, good one, bro.
Nuggets,
That's a good one.
Nets.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Wesley. All right, Thomas.
DeAndre
Timer.
Jordan played for the Nets?
He
Yeah,
did.
he was for like the KD Kyrie. He was like
He
Oh,
was there.
shit. Okay.
Four. Another superstar KD could have won.
Jazz.
he literally.
Stopwatch has begun for you.
Jazz and Nuggets. Wait, this is so obvious, but I can't. Oh my God. Who?
And we're not counting like drafted by this player, but traded on draft night or drafted by this
Uh,
trade on draft night, right? Because
God, I can't. I literally can't think.
I think it's just players who've played for both.
Okay, wait.
okay.
What time am I at?
You were at 35 seconds. I think maybe 45 is a little bit too quick. We could do 1 minute.
Yeah. I feel
Okay,
you.
yeah, fair. Okay.
Okay, you're at 45 seconds. You have 15 seconds. And by the way, if you don't answer anything, you just lose the turn.
Okay, then did Daniel Gallinari ever play for the Jazz?
Let's see. All right, we're gonna stop the timer, and the ref is gonna check.
Please, I think it happened.
To
I don't know,
confirm,
though.
Danilo Gallinari, right?
Yes, Danilo Gallinari.
So that's your final guess? That's a guess.
That's my final guess.
The teams that Danilo Gallinari has played for: Clippers, Thunder, Hawks, Wizards, and the Detroit Pistons.
Who am I thinking of? Who played for the? You never played for the Nuggets?
You did.
No.
He. Oh, sorry, that was a bad post. So he's played for the Knicks, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Thunder, the Hawks, the Celtics, the Wizards, the Pistons, and then the Bucks.
No,
So-
he's played for so many teams. How is that? Oh,
That is
Okay.
officially rejected. Wesley, go
bro,
ahead. Your timer starts
Wes has
now.
45 seconds to win.
Okay.
He has 60
So
seconds.
Jazz- I'm gonna try to think through the current Jazz / current Nuggets players. So Jokic, no. Jamal Murray, no. Michael Porter, no. Aaron Gordon, no. KCP, he's a journeyman kind of, but I don't think he played for the Jazz ever. One of the Justin Holiday though, he might have played for the Jazz. Laurie Markkinen, no. THT, no. Jordan Clarkson, no. Jazz Nugget.
It's a hard one.
I will say it's not obvious because as a ref, I have it in front of me. It's
Yeah,
not
you have all the
super
answers.
obvious. Yeah, I do. It's not super obvious.
I think. Hmm. Melo. Did AI play for the Jazz? Maybe. He's also a journeyman kind
It's a
of.
good shout.
AI is my guess, by the way.
All right, you are wrong. AI did not play for the Jazz.
I have a contingency. I know a Jazz player that played for 20,000. Just oh wait, no, Thomas can't win. So
All right, Thomas, you
oh no,
get
he
the
can.
Thomas. The ball is in your court now.
I literally, oh, I can win. Dude, that would actually be interesting.
I know a Jazz player that's played for 20,000. So and a
Yeah,
Raptor.
I know. And I mean, I do too, but like,
So you should just go for the easy one.
and the
Gotta
Magic
pick
player
somebody
is
else.
obvious. West, no, I have to try because the Magic player is also so obvious. Like, I'm not going to bet on you not remembering. Um, I don't think he ever played for the Jazz though. Dude, then
30 seconds on the clock.
did Kenneth Faried ever played for the Jazz? I'm 90% sure he played for the Nuggets.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
mine
Kenneth
would be the Nuggets.
Faried is incorrect.
I thought he was a journeyman.
You're going for Nuggets and Jazz, right?
Yeah, Nuggets and Jazz.
Incorrect.
Ooh,
All right, Wes, your time starts now.
trying to think. Debating whether I should just like make sure Thomas can't win. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Karl Malone, Jazz, and 20,000 plus points. So
Nice. Nice and easy. Thomas has been eliminated to even win. And now Thomas has to work to stop Wes from winning. Go ahead.
Like, the Nuggets and Jazz is fucking impossible. I
yeah,
don't understand why.
I can't even think of like any historic players that have played for
I'm
the
trying to
team.
go back. I'm like going back on my because I mean, let's face it, neither of them were the most storied franchises.
I
So
Yeah.
think one player is kind of obvious. Like not obvious in the regard like, oh my God, but like you guys will both be like, oh yeah. Um, Another guy is not as obvious. Yeah. So I would
okay,
say
like
one
so
player
Nuggets
can.
legends. There's no legends for the Jazz aside Stockton and Malone. Like Nuggets legends are like Dan Issel and like who like Alex English. Those guys, I don't know. I don't think any. I don't. I'm not confident about any of them. Uh,
Mm.
I think he played. There's another guy I'm thinking of who I know bounced around a lot, but I just don't think he ever played for the Jazz.
Your time is up. What's your final guess?
J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith is incorrect.
He bounced around, but I know he didn't play for the Jazz. I know he played for the Nuggets.
All right.
It's weird. I can name all these guys who played for the
Wes,
Nuggets,
your
but none of
timer
those people.
starts now.
Okay, now okay, worst comes to worst, I'm gonna guess Jeff Green just but that's not my final guess. That's just my
That's such a good one too. He played for everybody.
he's definitely played for the Nuggets. Obviously he's on them or he was on them last year. But he might have gone to the Jazz. I just
That
don't
might
know.
be right.
But I'm trying to think of the Nuggets in 2022 when we beat them in the playoffs because I feel like I know that roster a little better. Like Austin Rivers, Campazzo. I think he was like a rookie that year actually, even though he's like 28 or whatever. Austin Reeves was kind of interesting, but I'm pretty sure he only played for like the Clippers because of nepotism. And then yeah, I don't
40
know.
seconds.
40 seconds left.
No, done.
Oh man. Or Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder played for the Jazz, obviously. I don't know. He he played at other. Okay, I'm gonna guess Jay Crowder actually as my instead of Jeff Green.
For
Jay Crowder.
Jazz and Nuggets,
Yeah, yeah.
incorrect. Thomas, go ahead.
I'm just gonna, dude, Wes. I don't think you should say Jeff Green's got to be right. Didn't Jeff Green's play for everybody? I'm guessing Jeff Green.
You are
That feels
incorrect.
like a way better shot than anything I could come up. What?
Just kidding. You are correct. It is.
Yeah.
Jeff Green is right. I was like, Wes, say it. But
Damn, I really said that was my contingency, and then I went away from
I
it.
know I had to be an honest, fair man. I couldn't give you any hints, but you were absolutely
Goodbye.
correct. Jeff Green played for the Nuggets in 2022, 2023, and he played for the Jazz in 2020.
Damn.
So good stuff. I mean, it's still Wes's answer that Thomas would not have thought of. I don't think so, at least. But shout out.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Now it's you guys are just trying to get a draw. So go ahead now. Wes, the timer is yours.
Oh, I can still win. I just realized. Okay, I'm gonna go T-Mac for Magic and 20,000 plus points. Dude, I thought it was a draw no matter what. So,
All right,
unless I won there.
Does T-Mac have 20,000 points?
I could double check.
Yeah, double
He
check.
he was injured a lot.
He's also amazing a lot, so, you know.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful.
no, he doesn't. Hell no, he doesn't.
has 18,000. We're gonna have to
Dang.
take that away. Wow.
And I know a guy who definitely has 20,000
I
played
also
for the
know-
Magic.
I know that-
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the draw has been initiated.
You
That
know
was
a
good.
Magic Hawks or
Let's see. Okay, now Wes.
No,
go ahead.
I was actually panicking. I thought you were going to say Shaq. And
yeah, I thought T-Mac was kind of cooler, but
He was trying to be niche.
yeah.
All
Not
right,
niche, but
a draw. I think it's officially a draw. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a big
Son,
old
could you give us a list of Magic Hawks players off the top of your?
off the top of my head.
No, sorry, not off the top of your head. Just like tell us because I'm actually curious.
Okay, I wanna also like try though. Let me see. Let me try to think because I haven't been thinking
I'm
about
gonna go
it.
to the bathroom actually.
Magic in Hawks. Let's give it a second. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, so let's check now.
It's actually, yeah, it's
So we're gonna search it on the screen so the fans at home could follow along. Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard. That's obvious. Oh Lord,
Wow, that is obvious.
Dominique. I was gonna guess Dominique.
Tracy
Oh, that was-
McGrady.
Oh, Vince, of course, Vince. Yeah,
Tyronn
this is actually
Lue,
pretty obvious.
Vince Carter.
Yeah, Vince Carter's obvious when I think about it. I was gonna guess Dominique because I had this. That would have been legendary.
That would have been sick. For the win would have been cooler though.
Yeah, for
Wow, good stuff.
Dwight Howard
I-
for a Magic
Wes,
Hawks.
did you know Dominique Wilkins played for the Magic and the Hawks? I was
Nah,
literally gonna
I
guess
was
that
gonna say
because I
Dwight
had
Howard's
this vague
the-
memory of him playing for the Magic.
Dwight's the obvious, more obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't
Okay,
believe I didn't think of that.
I think because it was a draw, I think it's worth it for we can just end it there. It's been a long episode. It's been a long night.
Okay.
I won't even participate today. We're gonna leave it right there, guys. Thanks for tuning in for a very long episode. A good episode, I gotta say. We were in up until we started running in circles, but even that's part of content. It's part of the realism of our podcast. We're not faking stuff here. That's how we roll. But I liked our game 1 and 2 analysis for the conference finals. So we're gonna catch you guys next week. Hopefully, the
finals.
series are no, hopefully not. I want everything to go to 7. That'd be fun.
Well, even then,
Huh?
even then, it might be the finals by that point because it's like every
By
other-
next week?
Yeah, I mean, at most, there's like 4
Because
more
there's-
games, 5 more games left. So like 10 days. So
So if you were to record next Friday, no, even if it's Sunday we did it would be like the last day.
yeah.
The last possible day there could be a game is June 3rd, which is like 9 days from now.
Oh yeah, so we're definitely good. So the finals will potentially be done, potentially not. We'll catch you guys in the next one.